Hello, 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 hello. Happy Saturday. Oh no, I, my phone screen was going to sleep just as I was about to open up um my stream. Okay. Ready to go here now. Perfect. Okay. All right. Let me pull up the game so that uh the sound will play. And I guess we could just jump right into it. Yeah, sorry I didn't stream on Tuesday or Thursday or any of the other days this week. My bad. Or not my bad because I have that right. But sorry about that. It's been I've had to socialize a lot more than I planned or wanted this week at work. So, yeah. Social battery extremely low. Uh, okay, a little bit tonight because I had like today to rest. So that was nice. But yeah, so I'm feeling better now. But we'll see about next week. We'll see. We'll see. I want to stream. But it's just, you know. Ooh, what happened to the background? It's back. um, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. The plan is to go back to streaming Tuesday, Thursdays, but it's like you think you're done with like whatever you have to do with work, and you're like, oh, my schedule eases up. I'll be able to stream more because I'll be like less stressed about things. But then it's like a chain effect where that meant that other like chain effect series of events lead up to other things that make me like exhausted and stressed, and especially socializing because the social stuff is like the hardest stuff, and like it's the stuff that makes me the most tired about work anytime I have to socialize with people. and uh and that's also unfortunately the like uh, category of energy, part of the one of the energy categories that gets used for streaming. So yeah, um we'll see. Hopefully streaming again this week though. Hopefully I will avoid the social situations next week, or they go away or something. So we'll see. Anyway, continuing our game. Uh, what is this? Oh, okay. This one. Um, what? But I was finished childhood. Wait. Oh my gosh, this is so annoying. Okay, there we go. This is where I finished up. Okay. This is fine. This is fine. Yes. Childhood years are over. We are adamant. We are inattentive. Our perception is very low. We have willpower, ready for action, and we are untouched by death. Continue. So a bunch of stuff happened last week during our childhood here, and now we're continuing to adolescence.
I was growing up fast. The school, the streets, and the whole wide world awaited me
Oh, I remember
beyond
we
the
saw
gate
this at the end of
my
last week.
parents' house.
There's a very short cutscene. Okay, adolescence. I don't. This can't like people did not dress like this in 1126. This is like the 1700s. But I don't know exactly. So if anyone can tell me, but this looks like what they wore during the Revolution, right? The American Revolution for the and any international viewers. American. You've lived in this world for 8 years now. As oh, I don't remember any of the voices. Oh no. You lived in this world for 8 years now. As you grow older, life grows more complex. The world of your childhood was limited to your house and family, but now that realm is expanding. It also includes your neighborhood, the nearby houses, the streets of the ancient city of Anazote. A question now looms over you, growing more pressing with each passing year. What will your place be in this vast outside world? Few people in the blessed Archaean Empire trouble themselves with this question. It's not within a man or woman's power to choose. Their destiny is predetermined by their birth and those who bore them. And yet your peculiar birth has granted you a choice. Your family is a man of nobility. Your father is a man of nobility, a worthy example in matters of duty and honor. Your mother is a commoner of lowly estate, humility and patience made flesh. And your sky is ablaze day and night with the light of the shining pillar, the beacon of the clergy. Your back bears the mark of the lash. Will you accept the drudgery and suffering that is the lot of the low-born for your entire life? Or will you follow in the footsteps of your father and your father's father, and fight for the right to serve the empire as a noble of the mantle? Perhaps you will follow the twin gods' word and offer spiritual guidance to others? The answer lies out there in that vast, terrifying world. What awaits you beyond the walls of your home? How exciting. Chapter 2, Adolescence. Your world grows. The neighborhood that's exactly what we read. Okay. Things that can happen to the Brante family in this chapter. I discovered, well, these are all spoilers. Gloria's joining a secret society? Oh wait, these are all new skills. Ingenuity, nobility, participated in the ritual, jeez, and spirituality. Whoa, okay. Stephen's disgrace. He has a forbidden love? I joined the blood tide of the Brante family. What does that even mean? Oh, but I couldn't do this one, at least, because I have one of the requirements, a nobleman's sacrament. Interesting. Okay. And Nathan receives a spiritual admonition from me. That's weird. What? What does that even mean? Okay. Anyway, spoilers. There are more? Sophia saved. Who's Sophia? Oh, I can save her. Revelation of the tree. I can experience a revelation by the sacred silver tree. I can experience first romantic feelings. Oh, that's a cute one. Okay. Okay. Alright. Oh, we have a whole new set of skills? What about my last skills? Oh, at least my willpower carries over. Man. Okay. What happened to my last skills? Why did I learn those? Like, for no reason? Man, okay. I am unprincipled. I'll be honorable, noble, or dignified. Ooh, you know this one's a big draw for me. I love nobility. I'm a Gryffindor. Ingenuity. I'm slow. Oh, I hate... I want to at least be bright, okay? That's gonna be my goal, is at least be bright. Mundane. Blessed by the... I like to... You know, I don't really care about this one as much. I like to be a searcher. Soulful just sounds weird. That I don't feel soulful. But I like to be blessed by the gods. Like, I don't know. That feels like something you don't work for. You know, like, if you're blessed by the gods, that's up to them. Searcher would be nice, but I'm fine with being mundane if it means I can be, like, dignified or noble, and if I can not be slow. Nothing wrong if you are slow. I don't want to... It doesn't feel like my vibe, you know? Relations screen is now available. Province screen is now available. Map of the Empire. Oh my gosh, let's look at the screens. I have no relations. Okay. Map of the Empire. Oh, here's our city. This is us. Look at all the other places. Wow. And the province. There's a lot to take in here. The overseer is the Archduke Melanidas. The patriarch is Photis. Is this our province? So we have -4 in power. Okay, so we aren't... What? -5 is old nobility in power. Now we're an overseer is in power. Okay. And then struggle for power, commoners in power, and reign of terror. So, like, I guess the thing is you don't want to go too far either direction, maybe? Follow the old faithful. Okay, same thing here, I guess. Alright, well, Old Faith and New Schism seems bad. It seems best to have a predominantly one or the other, but I don't really like the fall of one or the other, though. Like, I don't think it should all be anything. Oh, hey, Suyoku. Hello, hello. Television, like television. You know what? I like it. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. I might use that in future. I actually like that one. Um, Now back to debating religion. Not just the religion. We're debating the good of your royalties. Yes, sure. Okay. So like yeah, we don't want schism. I wish I could scroll over to this, but I can't without missing it. Okay. Oh, and you can't even see it because I'm in the way. Is this the right direction? Yeah, okay. So anyway, so schism seems bad. There you go. Schism seems bad because like that's like complete like war. Old faith seems fine. A new faith. And I just don't like fall of the new or old faith because it's sad to see one go entirely. But having one in predominance seems good, according to the wording on here, because it seems to involve less conflict. It's unfortunate for the people who are not of the predominant faith, but at least they still exist and they are not like outright feuding. They maybe can just mind their own business. That's my philosophy. Okay. Anyway, security. This is our wealth. Okay. And we have secure. We're secure. Okay. But we'd like to get to flourishing land, I assume. That's one where it's definitely better. Oh, okay. I can see this is a 0 to 10 scale, as opposed to this, which is -5 to +5, suggesting that negative isn't necessarily bad. It's just in the opposite direction. But this is a like linear scale. These are like balance scales, and this is a linear scale. And then peace. Okay, so we're pretty much at peace. Triumph of the law. I don't really like the way that's phrased. But obviously, on lawless land, I mean, if people are nice, lawless land is fine. But due to the words unrest and discontent, it seems like lawless land might not be great. Triumph of the law sounds like a police state. So I'm happy with being at peace. I'm right in the middle of peace, so we're not like at risk of dipping one or the other. So that's fine. But I feel like as a child, we are not really too concerned about controlling these things quite yet. It's a shame we don't have any relations, but okay. Back to sea. Okay. Continue. It's true. If you're the police dates are pretty okay. Perhaps. Unless you consider the fact that everyone benefits by the flourishing of the state on the whole. The boy down the street. The family expects more and more of you as you grow up. The teachers and tutors hired by your father keep... Ugh, I don't know why a sentence is so hard. Teachers and tutors hired by your father keep you on your toes all the time. Your life these days is dedicated to studying for your future, for the future of the Brante family. Your younger brother Nathan keeps growing up too. He can hold a conversation now. You never refuse him when he comes to play, provided you have a bit of free time between your demanding lessons. It is a rainy day today. Father and mother have gone to a ball, and they left Nathan in your care. You lose track of time over the books in the sitting room, and Nathan goes off alone to splash in the creek. Soon you hear his voice begging you to come outside. He is on the porch sobbing, all covered in dirt. You walk up to him as he continues to bawl. It's all that kid. He pushed me into the ditch and called me names. He said I was a fancy pants fool. I said I'll call my brother. He's still there. You have to go punish him, sir. A reminder that our name is Sir. That's why he's calling us that. Nathan points at a lopsided wooden house further down the street where the poorer artisans live. You see two boys lingering there on the porch. They are clearly both commoners, but far from poor. One of them is almost as tall as Nathan, and he frowns in a funny way, just like him. What does that mean? The other looks older, almost your age, but he is more broad-shouldered and taller. His name is Thomas. You've heard it before. There, sir, that's him. Nathan points at the younger boy and hides behind your back. Thomas grins and rolls up his sleeves to reveal strong forearms. He must have been helping his father with manual labor for quite some time. Mr. T chose Mr. T, so people would have to call him Mr. Yeah, it's actually the same thing the Scottish poet Sir Walter Scott. He's not knighted. His name is just Sir Walter. So yeah, it's just give yourself that name and there you go. But Sir Brant's name is Sir Brant due to the fact that I had no good ideas for his first name and just went with the one in the title. I probably should have gone with Mr. too, just like Mr. T. Sir Mr. Brant. I'll think of something better maybe if we die and live another life in this game. Then we'll pick maybe I'll try to be more clever. I didn't realize that they didn't give this character a first name, so I was kind of thrown off. VIP favorite viewer in chat. I mean, that's fine. It's a little bit of a long name though. You might need to abbreviate it. Gotta have a nickname. Okay. What's his voice gonna be? Listen up, rich boys. We don't give a damn about you or your friendship. We don't let nobody call our home a stinking rat hole. Your little brother earned his ditch dive. I feel like there's a little bit of Malfoy in that accent I chose. Mr. T works. Yeah, that that works too. Let's see. Maybe next time he'll dress normal and stop picking fights with people who can throw him in the mud. Did he pick a fight with you, or was like, who started it? What happened? Nathan, explain. What does he mean? Your hands clench into fists before you react. Nathan called them names first. No wonder they did the same. That's how it goes. Nathan, why'd you do that? But pushing your brother into a ditch is too much. Thomas stands tall and confident. He sees no threat in you. You are about to get ready for a fight when you feel a tug on your sleeve. You turn your head to see Nathan, the one who started the whole mess. Oh, we can't listen to Nathan. Oh, because Nathan, we don't have a good enough relationship with him. Okay, well, it's fine. Resolve the matter peacefully. Do we want to do that? That seems like the lame way to do it. So we can say our brother is to blame? Oh, but then our relation with Thomas goes up. I don't like Thomas. I don't want to give Thomas a beating. Our brother started it. Relation goes up with Thomas either way here. I say we're gonna say, because this was my initial reaction. I don't know why we have to resolve it peacefully. I mean, like, saying that our brother is to blame is also peaceful. So we're gonna admit, like, we're gonna say, yeah, okay, you know what? This is weird. So saying that Nathan is to blame, we get more ingenuity, right? Even though, like, that feels to be the more truthful course to take, right? It's just, like, take the blame you have earned, and that you deserve. but that's not the one that gets us spirituality up. It gets us ingenuity, but like that's not particularly clever. Resolve the matter peacefully, where you have to reason with him to get out of the fight. That increases our spirituality, but not our ingenuity. It feels like these should be flipped. Maybe he wants a meeting we should offer. You know, I can't, because the real noble thing is to take the blame. So honestly, this is more noble and more spiritual. It is not more ingenuity though, which is weird because the one thing you get from it, but I'm gonna blame her brother. It's his fault. He's gotta learn. We gotta raise him right. It takes you a few moments to compose yourself and quell your rage. Your brother has put you on the spot. He couldn't bring himself to apologize, and now you have to settle this for him. And how are you supposed to do that, pray tell? If you had done this, grandfather would have had you flogged, and father would have scolded you and given you the cold shoulder for days afterward. You frown and ask Nathan to come closer. You address Nathan sternly. He told you these boys were to blame, but he was the one who called them names first, so how is it their fault? It serves him right. Next time he should watch his mouth. Your lecture sounds a lot like father. You think your tirade came out well enough. Nathan pouts, looks away, and furrows his brow. Still, he nods. Thomas slowly shakes his head in disapproval. Then he bursts out laughing. To him, this is actually hilarious. Oh, he seems like a nice guy. His hair's a little like a gremlin or something, but he looks like a troll is what he looks like. Oh, he's our childhood friend, apparently. Look at that. His dream is to change his lot, get a military education, and earn the right to a sword. He intends to join the Imperial... Well, maybe we should have fought him. Maybe we should have fought him. That would have given him good experience. Well, would you look at that? You're a right little nobleman. Are you gonna push him into a ditch yourself now? His words turn your seemingly perfect solution into a repulsive absurdity. Blood rushes to your face. You step closer to Thomas and shove him hard. See, he did want to fight. He did want to fight, and we gave him one anyway. He jumps back, surprised by your assault. It takes him a moment to compose himself, but now he is ready. His fists cover his face, and he attacks you with a quick jab. Now it is your turn to take a step backward. Thomas does not resort to fancy moves, dirty tricks, or stupid taunts. He displays nothing but skill earned in many a street fight, with heavy fists, and his heavy fists aim for your head. You keep dodging him again and again, trying to reach him. He takes a couple of glancing blows, but easily shakes them off. What a bruiser. You start swinging your fists with greater and greater fury. Your heart is pounding like a hammer. You see nothing but the foe in front of you. How much longer will this take? You're worn out, your breath grows ragged, and your muscles grow weary. But there is no way you can give up now. Nathan is watching you. Desperate and out of options, you swing and punch Thomas square in the nose, then immediately let his fist smack you in the temple. The blow rings through your head like a bell and blinds you for a moment. Oh no, blood. Eviscerate E for everyone. Apparently. The world swims before your eyes. You clutch at your head to get your bearings. Thomas is standing in front of you, blood dripping from his nose. You no longer want to fight it out, and it seems your opponent would rather end it too. But you keep standing there, eyeing each other angrily. Then suddenly, you hear an angry shout right next to you. An enraged man in a craftsman apron is shaking his fist. Thomas's face contorts in terror right away. It's my father! Run! The punishment for fighting is flogging, and the mere prospect of that makes you run like the wind. Thomas sprints in front of you. You dash across the rotten wooden planks of the back alley, up and over a lopsided fence, across a giant puddle in one leap, and then forward into the tall grass. You hide there and stay quiet. You hear no sounds of pursuit. You exchange glances with Thomas and start laughing. His laughter is loud and infectious, but soon he cuts it short and grows sadder. I'm going to get flogged anyways. My dad's always quick to give me a beating. And then he'll start nagging me about the lots and the prayers for days like he always does. Why do I always get myself mixed up in this stuff? But fighting's the only way to prove you're worth anything, right? The adults didn't see you fighting, you tell him, so all you have to do now is convince them you weren't. Nosebleeds happen, right? Mother gets nosebleeds all the time. Well, we could try it. Let's hope our little brothers don't tell on us. I'll talk to mine. There's a scratch on your head. Don't let them see it. Good thing I didn't hit you in the face. There, good as new. You assure him that Nathan will never tell, and in return, you'll make sure he behaves himself so he won't get tossed into a ditch again. With that, you shake hands with Thomas. His handshake is as strong as you would expect based on his fists. You make your way out of the tall grass. You need to leave before Thomas's father goes to your family and complains about you breaking your lot. You come to a realization on the way back. You had no idea the place where you were hiding even existed, and it wasn't too far from home. Thomas smiles in excitement when he hears this. Yeah, the wisdom is just lie. Oh, I know, lots of places like that. I'll tell you what. If we get out of this mess today, I'll show you the way to the old wall. It's the perfect place to build forts. I dragged a bunch of wooden planks there. Too bad it's no fun to build all alone. My brother never helps. He just gets in the way. You emerge from the muddy back alleys united by a secret only the two of you know. It seems you've made a friend today. Yay. We're still slow. We're still slow. I'll scoot out of the way so you can see our options here. These are our options. We're still slow, but hopefully we can get to bright soon. Gotta be less stupid. A boy named Thomas. He looks like a troll, but that's fine. I'm gonna take a drink. Okay. Riders on the road. It is blistering hot today, even for the sun-parched lands of Magra. As soon as you are done with your studies, you dash outdoors and out of the stuffy room. You and Thomas roll up your shirt sleeves, but it barely helps. You would gladly go shirtless had you only been in the company of other boys. But there are 3 girls in the yard today, and they are doing the laundry in a big wash tub, whispering and giggling. If you could, you would gladly keep watching one of them at work. One of them? we like someone, okay. She has big eyes of deep blue. Her hair is braided, and her plain gray dress is mended and patched all over. Her name is Sophia. She throws her head back a little when she laughs. The rays of the sun are reflected in her eyes. You, Thomas, and the other boys keep telling silly stories, anything to make her laugh. You sure love telling tall tales, sir. Oh, I remember this one time. But then Sophia hears a voice calling her home. She nods to you and runs across the street, smiling. Her light steps carry her forward, but her eyes look elsewhere. But then a stone on the road catches her foot. She stumbles and falls flat into the dust. The street starts shaking from the thundering of hooves. Riders appear on the road from around the corner. They bear a coat of arms you recognize right away, a sable serpent blade upon a field of vert. It symbolizes the Melanidas dynasty, the family of your province's archduke. The horses dash forward. A lost wooden toy on the road cracks under their hooves. They will not slow down. They are the nobles, and the rest must make way for them. Sophia is in their way, just now starting to get back on her feet. Her mother is crying for her desperately behind the fenced door. You freeze in terror. The riders surely see the girl. Are they going to stop, or are they going to trample her? In only a few moments, the beautiful girl will be toppled, trampled, and crushed. Yeah, apparently the fact that she's beautiful really changes things. Oof. Oh, whoa, this gets us a lot of stuff. We gotta save Sophia. Oh, but we die. We're gonna do it, because we're noble like that. You throw yourself blindly into the road, swinging your arms wildly. Dazed by the sound of the thundering hooves, you can see nothing in the dust. For a brief moment, the horses slow down, just long enough for Sophia to get back on her feet and flee to the roadside. But then the riders dig their spurs in. Dozens of hooves knock you off your feet and roll across your body. Yikes. Your bones crack, break, and crumble. Your ears are ripped apart by the thundering rhythm of the ride. Your innards are pulverized. The last thing you remember is the sound of your own skull caving in. Yikes. Yeah. Oh no, why is this like this? They did it wrong. Oh, is this the twins? The pillars? Oh yeah, because this is the noble one, and this is the one that whips you. First death. You fall into a pain that embraces you like a soft feather bed. You feel light, free. There are no restraints, just a warm glow that envelopes you in its secure embrace. The waves carry you. Their touch is soft. They delicately enshroud what was once your body. It is a feeling unlike anything you have ever experienced before. Duh. That's what happens when you die. Usually you haven't done it before. But this is my first death, so you know, in this game you die multiple times, I guess. Something absolute and complete. You touch something greater that you touch something greater. Okay, I think there's a comma here. The reason behind everything. The reason for your very existence. You were sculpted from this light. It was the first thing you ever felt. A boundless and sincere unity of the diverse. Your beginning was a spark that cast this light in all directions, and now you are here again, one with the beginning of everything. The light gleaming from you resembles the light of the shining pillar. You still see it, in the north, as always. The waves of light carry you to two figures. The elder is nearest. He is ready to accept you. He is quiet, wise, kind, and pure. The younger waits further back. You do not know what he is yet. The waves pause at the elder's feet. He leans over you and plants a feather-light kiss on your forehead. The kiss spreads all over you. You are filled with unparalleled delight and bliss. You exist. You are unique. There is no one else like you. They know this, and they love you. You will never be alone. You are a part of them, a part of your family, a part of this universe. The twin gods will never leave you. They watch over you constantly. The elder softly touches you as you lie spread out amongst the waves, sending you further down the torrent of light. You float on, to the top of the silver tree's spreading crown. The closer you get to the silver tree, the heavier you become. The waves draw you down along its trunk, but you do not wish to part with the warmth and the softness, with the love. You turn around. The elder is still watching you. He nods. All is as it should be. Go. Your time has not yet come. You must return to the world now. As you tumble down toward your body, you comprehend the meaning, the true meaning of your lesser death, and the divine love that has been revealed to you. Love exists not only in the hereafter. It is present in the entire design of the twins that is the origin of all life in this world. What is the manifestation of this love in your mortal life? What is the manifestation of this love? Empire? No, we're not gonna like the government. Our law is suffering. I don't like that. Family. Some of our family kind of sucks. Cause. The love the gods have for you is so great they will allow you to change the world they have created, to influence it with your deeds. Whatever your mission is, it is proof of the twin gods' love for you. What could be a stronger manifestation of love than your very existence? Your every emotion, every thought, every action exists by virtue of the love from which the twin gods created you, or I can remain silent. What is a manifestation of this love in your world? Myself? My cause? I'm gonna go with cause, I think. I feel that's the vibe that we've been going with here. A sudden comprehension of the love with which the entire world is imbued illuminates your mind. Then it fades away and vanishes. You regain the sensation of your flesh. It is heavy and unwieldy. It lacks that lightness, that light. It is a burden. It is smothering you. You gasp for air. Your chest expands painfully. You feel as though your lungs are about to burst. The stagnant odor of the crypt fills them, revolting, but so real. You are back. Death brings on the hard choices, it would seem. Riders on the road. This is the last chapter we were on. Then you can feel again. You sense your body, head, arms, and legs. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. The light fades around you, obedient before a will that is stronger than you. You return to the world. Such is the law of the twins. You will return to the world until the time of your true death, and in this world you will have a body with which to feel pain and suffering and pleasure. You smell a sickly, moist odor. You open your eyes and see the figures of mother and father in the gloom of the family crypt, speaking to each other quietly. They stop as they hear you gasp. Mother runs to you and locks you in an embrace as father wraps you in his cloak. Neither of them says a word as they lead you out to the surface and back home. This reminds me of in the book, like, my favorite book, possibly, The Lives of Christopher Chant. See, in it, at one point, he gets his head smacked in with a cricket bat. And he is in, like, a morgue. And he, or, like, in a hospital, but, like, in, like, the morgue of a hospital or something. And he is like he wakes up and he has like the blanket like over the sheet over his head and everything, and he wakes up and he gets down and he walks over and he sees like a dead body under another sheet, and then he gets up and he's like screams, and then he runs out because he's like scared about the dead bodies, and then he runs through the hospital, and then apparently it's like they spent the nurses talk about how they had to spend like half an hour chasing a goat running naked through the hospital, nothing but a sheet, because they thought he had died because his head was literally cracked open, like smushed open from this cricket bat. And the thing is that because he has 9 lives, spoilers, and so that's one of them that he uses up. And he and see, he died in other worlds when he was going through the like universe to a different world, and he died in the other world. But if you die in the other world, you like die in real life but not at the same time, but you have to like redo the death in the actual world, and that was one of them. And this just reminded me of that, because everyone was so shocked because they thought he was dead and then he just like woke back up. That's very, very similar vibes to this, is what I'm getting here. So, but the reaction's a little different. It's much more solemn, but it reminded me of that. And so for that reason, I love this page because it makes me very happy, because it reminds me of the lives of Christopher Chant. So yeah. It's like, it's spoilers, but it's such a small portion of the book that like it's not it's not like it's not a major spoiler. It's like a minor spoiler. There's so much more to the book than that. It's like a little teaser, if you will. But it is like towards like the middle-ish of the book, so it's not like something from the beginning. But there's a lot of stuff, a lot more to the book than that. Anyway, back to our story. You've met a terrible end, my son. You were trampled by those horses. Don't be so careless ever again. The lives you were granted by the twin gods are not to be wasted so recklessly. You would be punished for this, but the twins have already meted out their punishment. What was their punishment? What was their punishment? Father, you need to tell us, what was their punishment? You tremble, your steps unsteady as you learn how to move again. Your body is eerily smooth, fresh and renewed. Even the recent scars and scratches are all gone. Oh, is our scar from our whipping gone? That we got in the church when we had to accept our lot? Is that gone? And what about the one, did we get one on our hand? I forget, when we grabbed the sword. That should be, I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. But there is something new on it, a fresh black mark, a reminder of your lesser death beneath those hooves. So I got a cool tat, is what I'm hearing. Remember that, by the twins' mercy, we are all given enough time in this world. Should you die before your time, you will be brought back by their grace. For 3 times they will rescue you from a terrible fate, but the 4th death is true and final for all. Every loss of a life we were granted at our birth is a heavy blow to us, but the gods told us not to mourn a lesser death, and so we will humbly accept this and move on. See, your body has been reborn anew, with all your wounds healed. 4 death, yeah. Yeah, Christopher Chant got 9. Just saying. In my book, it's a little bit better. Oh, it's, and Lives of Christopher Chant, by the way, is by Diana Wynne Jones, who wrote Howl's Moving Castle. A reminder to anyone who watches this that Howl's Moving Castle is a book in addition to the Studio Ghibli movie, and it is very good. It's a good book. It's the best, not the best book ever, but it's a great book, better than the movie, and it annoys me that people are not aware that it's even a book. It's fine if you prefer the movie. The book is better, but It bugs me that people are like such big fans of the movie and have no idea that it's a book. When the same author wrote The Lives of Christopher Chant, which is like my favorite book, and like they could be discovering that through Howl's Moving Castle, but they aren't because they, I don't know, are lame. Anyway, do not mourn the loss of life. Do not mourn your loss of life, my son, but thank the twin gods for their justice. Do not speak of this, and do not ever play by the road again if you wish to keep on living. Do not ever play by the road. Does that mean that, like, I'm gonna, like, be attracted to deaths by horse trampling or something, or? Yes, now you do. So, that's important. So now you're not lame. Cart magnet, I guess. Like, that's what she's kind of implying. Like I should have died by that death and I was spared, but that means I'm like at risk for that death again, because like there's still like a like Grim Reaper out there who wants to take me for that thing, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really sure how this world works. Okay. You cautiously go back outside the next day. Children from the neighborhood surround you. They all saw you get trampled, and now they all ask you the same question. What was it like to die? None of you guys have died yet? Thomas rescues you from their pestering. He pushes the motley crew aside, hugs you, and pats you on the back. Look at you, buddy. You gave an entire life to keep a girl safe. Then you see Sophia. She is standing nearby, shyly working up the courage to walk over to you. Soon she finally approaches you and begins speaking rapidly. It is medieval. Yep. Sir, why did you throw yourself in front of those horses? My life isn't worth any more than yours, so why did you think that? You weren't supposed to die there. It was all those riders' fault. They deserved to die, not you. Her voice rises to a shriek. She suddenly stops and runs back home. You stay where you are, watching her run, the golden rays of the sun dancing in her braided hair. She's still indifferent to us, though. Well, look, we got so much. Oh, we still have some willpower. That's good. When did we get more? I thought we already had. Oh, okay, no, never mind. Okay, wait. So this is you can get below 0. I was kind of confused. I was like, but why do we have some positive? Okay, got it. Okay, so we are still at 0. But we can use up some though, so that's good. So we can get a deficit if we really feel like we absolutely need to use our willpower. And we're bright now, so we can stop with our ingenuity. I'm fine with being bright. I don't need to be enterprise or inventive. Those are things you want to do if you want to like be an entrepreneur or something and run your own TikTok business, but that's okay. Unprincipled, we're on our way up the nobility spectrum. We want to get higher in that. And we're still mundane spirituality, but I'm okay with that because I don't really care, so. And we have died once. Okay. I got achievement, trampled. Okay. We have rescued Sophia. I'm gonna take a drink. Okay. The year 1128. Fall. Soil and gunpowder. Yeah. This is not particularly the actual year 1128 in our reality. I can tell. Very brave. I did the right thing. Thank you. Thank you. I looked to the side and it told me, it gave me the most good stuff. Okay. Sophia disappeared after the terrible incident with the horses. Her friends gossiped that her parents sent her off to serve a rich noble dynasty. Well, that's a shame. You haven't seen each other since that day, but you still remember Sophia's eyes, the sunlight shining in them. But no matter what, life goes on. Oh, we didn't even get the good results. Oh well, we didn't do it for that. We did it for all the other stats boosts. You are 10 years old now. Your studies continue, and you are learning more about the land you live in. Anazode is an ancient city in an imperial province by the name of Magra. All soil in Magra was turned to ash eons ago, scorched by magic during the rebellion of Duke Char Melanidas. And his name was Char? That's... of course. Of course. The magical arts are all but gone now, but the scorched earth has remained barren and infertile ever since. Since then, the entire province has lain barren, tormented by cold and scorching winds in equal measure, with few precious plants taking root on their own. All fertile land in Magra is bought elsewhere and brought here by an endless caravan of carts and carriages. To pay for food and soil, the cities of Magra became skilled in many trades, primarily mining and digging for metals and stone. Okay, so this is interesting. So they just bring in, like, soil, which I guess makes sense because, like, we have trees and stuff, so maybe that's what they're using the soil for. But I was like, if this were a city builder and I couldn't grow crops, I would, obviously, like, yeah, dig for metals and stone or, like, boost the industries we do have and have a surplus of that stuff to sell as exports and then have enough money to import all our food, right? It's not the most efficient way to do things. Obviously, it's better to be self-reliant, just keeps it simpler. You don't have to deal with the ups and downs of the trading market, but or the limits of what people are willing to buy and sell and things like that. But it's very curious that they are going to just bring in soil to grow on their own. That's kind of clever. It's cheaper probably than buying the actual food. Sophia disappeared. Make the writing easier from here onward. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, she might come back in later, is the thing. She might come back in later. We can't forget about Sophia. We must remember Sophia. Okay, let's move on. Last fall, there was an explosion just outside the city, followed by clouds of thick smoke. The first such incident frightened the citizens, but then explosions of smoke became an everyday occurrence. Soon everyone grew used to it. Father explains that the miners are using a new invention called gunpowder. It makes it easier for them to reach the precious stones and metals buried deep within the earth. Then one day a thunderous explosion rocks the city, and black, billowing smoke covers the houses. People are stuck in their homes, all windows tightly shut. It's like fire season in LA. The air is impossible to breathe. Nathan coughs all the time. Gloria and you cough only when nobody is watching. If Mother hears it, she'll make you inhale those hot verbal vapors just like Nathan. It takes 2 days for the black smoke to disperse. People pour out onto the streets to meet their friends. Thomas is eager to share everything he knows about this incident with you. After shooting the ore, shooting it until it just leaves on its own. They took lots of burnt up people to the city temple. Mom told me. She was helping the healers. There are many rumors. Some claim it was the work of a beast stirred from its slumber, while others say it's the surviving witches that continue to threaten the order in the Empire with their accursed powers. That seems cool. But as for you, you patiently wait for Father to come back home, and then you'll ask him about it. Father spends day and night working at the prefecture, while Mother spends all her time in prayer. It takes a full week for Father to finally come home, and he's almost completely spent. You muster enough courage during dinner to ask him what happened outside the city. Father raises his head, his face a bleak, weary mask, and starts muttering his proclamation. It's almost as if he doesn't see you. It's the mine outside the city. They were trying to get to a vein of ore. There was an explosion. The mine caved in and the black smoke started flowing. Many workers died there. It was all because Count El Velasco, who owns the mines, wanted them to start mining that vein before they were ready. If some of the workers weren't even reborn, perhaps the twins thought their final time had come. The prefecture has been inundated with complaints from the families that have lost their breadwinners, asking the judges for help. Many people also lost their cattle to the black smoke. Count El Vasco blames gunpowder for the disaster. The prefecture and the newspapers just repeat whatever he says, but it's plain old greed and tyranny of noblemen that are to blame. Why is the welfare of our province always paid for with the commoner lives? Oh, hey, Kostrama. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good evening. Or day, whatever. Then, without warning, he grows silent again. You keep thinking about it for days. Can a human life really end so easily? A single moment of bad luck, and you die, only to re-emerge from the temple or the family crypt with a new black mark on your arm. Or worse, you remain where you fell, dead, never to be reborn again, ever. Imagine dying and just staying dead. Imagine it. Imagine. Imagine a world where that happens. Crazy. Yeah. Have a good, hopefully you're having a good month or whatever time frame you choose. Your 10th playthrough of life. Well, see, in this game, you die, but you, like, are reborn, like, from that moment. So, like, we just died, actually, a little bit ago by being trampled by these horses because we were saving this girl. And then, like, they put us in the family crypt and we just, like, wake up. It's like a little sleep. And then we just wake up and continue onward where we left off. But we get, like, 4 deaths, essentially, and the last one's the final one. But, yeah, we died, but we got better. Exactly. But... yeah, and glad you could catch a stream, Kostrama. I haven't been streaming as much, so I'm sure that hasn't helped. So that's on me. But I will be streaming more here soon, probably. The next few weeks are, like, again, end of academic year stuff and, like, start of the summer is always a little weird. Schedule stuff is weird, and, like, the expectations at work get weird with, like, what I'm actually doing, and so things can be more tiring than I expect, or busier and more, like, events and stuff, but eventually things calm down entirely, so definitely when summer, like, fully hits, then I'll be streaming a bunch more, so hopefully can catch you around a lot more then. She turned me into a new pick up. Exactly, just like that. But yeah. Yeah, no, I'm just frustrated because I wish I could stream more, but I'm just like, it's been so frustrating lately. But I'm really looking forward to summer. I'm, like, already thinking of, like, the games I want to play, cool stuff I want to add to my stream, and I'm gonna, like, post more on my other socials, and, like, looking forward to all that type of stuff. So I'm like, eager to do that. Oh no, peace went down. No, it's still peaceful though, but we have, like, less of it. But our wealth went up. That's good. At least those people died for something. Live stream my job. I am not allowed to do so, unfortunately. During lunch, Father tells you to stay home in the evening and prepare to meet some important guests. Your elder brother, Stephen, will return home by dinner tonight. Joining him will be your grandfather, Gregor Brante, as well as a noble friend of the family. You are excited about your brother's return. It has been years since you last saw him. How has he changed during his years away from home? You and Father await the guests anxiously. The doorbell rings. 3 people are standing outside. Grandfather is the first to come in, naturally. He has not changed a bit since his last visit, still eyeing the house with contempt, looking for any reason to demean it. Grandfather's followed by a stately young man dressed in a jacket embroidered in silver, whom you barely recognize as your brother. Stephen casts a glance at your threadbare clothes, your dirty fingernails, and smirks. Greg or Brant. Yeah, he's whatever the heck his name is. The last to enter the house is a personable gentleman with a worn-out, wrinkled face. It's a great way to describe someone. You should say that to his worn-out, wrinkled face. You have heard a lot about this man from father and grandfather. He is Baron Augustin Elborn, Stephen's uncle, a family friend, and the province's prefect, which means that he is the head judge and thus father superior. Sir Elborn smiles lightly and offers you his hand. And this must be your younger son, sir. You have your father's eyes, young man. Father bows slightly to grandfather and Sir Elborn, but there is a moment of quiet when Stephen's turn comes. Father reaches out to him awkwardly, expecting an embrace. There is a question in Stephen's eyes as he looks at grandfather. The old man shakes his head almost imperceptibly. Right, because he's been poisoning Stephen against our dad. We noblemen mustn't put our emotions on public display, father, not even after a lengthy separation. There is no embrace. Instead, Stephen nods to father curtly. He responds in kind, his face devoid of emotion. After the greeting, you proceed to the sitting room. Elborn is the first to enter. He kisses mother's hand, and Gloria's too, and tussles Nathan's hair after he sees him hiding by the table. Grandfather acknowledges them with a glum nod. Greetings, Lydia Brant. I remember you were kind to me when I was a child. And you must be Nathan. You could barely walk when I saw you last. Your elder brother ignores Gloria completely, not even a greeting. You proceed to the dining room in a dignified manner and take your seats. The dishes smell delicious, and they merely punctuate the overwhelming tension at the table. Elborn is the only one with a friendly smile on his face. The dinner is splendid, Lydia. Did you choose the dishes yourself? You have a truly refined palate. It warms my heart to know Stephen spent his early years with you. Womanly care always does a child good, no matter the estate. Your fork freezes in the air halfway to your mouth. You expect many things from a noble of the sword, but words of praise for a low-born woman are not one of them. You cast a glance at grandfather. He looks like he is about to choke on those words. Elborn is Spanish for the born. Indeed it is, I guess. It would do my grandson more good to stay at boarding school among his equals. Please, Gregor, parenting is no less important. Nothing can replace a mother's love, I cannot deny it. It saddens me greatly that my late sister cannot be there to raise Stephen, but there was still a family for him, and he was surrounded by love. Could that be bad? How could that be bad? And besides, his father was by his side all the while. A father's example is always the best. After all, Robert earned the judge's rank, the same as you did. Your grandson will surely follow in his footsteps. And who knows, perhaps even the younger man of the Brante family will contribute to the... You clumsy, low-born cretin! Everybody is startled by the sudden outburst. Grandfather's face turns red. He is glaring at a young lady servant holding a pitcher over a glass. Stephen is sitting right next to her, dabbing a napkin on a fresh stain on his jacket. Begone this instant! The lady servant runs away, leaving the pitcher on a small table by the door. After a quiet moment, Elborn smiles again. It appears the servants have left us, yet dinner is far from over. Worry not, uncle. There are enough commoners at this table to keep us served with food and drink. Stephen glares at Gloria across the table. She is sitting right next to you. She shrinks down and hunches over under his gaze. Father furrows his brows. Mother covers her mouth with trembling hands. Grandfather sneers. Stephen's gaze does not move. The silence lasts far too long. Then she starts to rise from her chair. If the Brant gentleman so wish it... Your hands clench into fists under the table. How can he bring himself to humiliate his own family, his own mother and sister like this? It is all grandfather's doing. Stephen could not even bring himself to embrace father without his permission. And yet they are noblemen, and they have the right to act this way. If there is any way this dinner can become even more unbearable, you do not want to see it. Okay. Okay. So we can step out of line and insult Stephen for what he's done. We can try to act like nothing happened. No. This nobility crap. I thought I wanted to be more noble, but I'm not so sure anymore. If this is the route that takes. We're just fighting and letting bullies bully. No, that's not noble at all. Okay, well this is what I wanted to do. Was join her. Because I know we're just gonna get in trouble if we like make fun of Stephen. So we're just gonna join her, and we're just gonna pour more wine on Stephen. Yeah, I want to be noble, but not nobility. Exactly. I guess nobility is just not for us. We'll join Gloria. See, here's the thing, is like we could go like this game has like the two lots, right? You could be the lot of the noble or the lot of like the commoner where you have to work and everything, and you think like, oh well, I want to be the lot of the noble, like, you know, I don't want to be the one where I just quietly accept my fate and let the priest whip me and then, like, you know, have to spend all my time doing work right? Like, obviously I don't want to do that. I don't want to just like, you know, be cattle essentially. But how can you rise and hold a revolution to overthrow the arrogant nobleman if you become a nobleman, right? Like, the peasants are never going to trust you that way. So you have to be a commoner to be able to overthrow the jerks at the top. You can't just go to the top and be like, oh, I'm at the top, but like, I just won't be a jerk here. No, you gotta be at the bottom to overthrow the people at the top. That's how it works. You can't do it from the top. So that's what I'm like, that's what I'm realizing, at least in this situation. I don't know if it works like that in real life or in all instances in real life, but it certainly works that way here. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to join Gloria, and we're going to get a bunch of willpower out of it too, which is great because we're at 0 right now, as it says, because we died and saved Sophia. So we're going to help Gloria and increase our willpower. That's what I wanted to do. That was my impulse anyway, so we'll do that. Okay. You deliberate for a moment, then... That should be then, not than. Take the napkin off your lap and rise to join Gloria. A moment later, you hear the sound of another chair moving. Your mother joins you. The three of you now refill glasses, serve food, and clear away dirty dishes. Sir Elborn tries to make small talk with father, but in vain, so he focuses his attention on grandfather and Stephen. Grandfather is pleased to inform him of... It's like, why did they even bother coming? Because, like, father's not going to talk with them with the way they're treating us. And the rest of us aren't even at this meal. So, like, they should have just stayed where they were and just, like, had a little dinner amongst the three of them. Like, what is the point of coming to our house? Go away. Grandfather is pleased to inform him of Stephen's achievements at the boarding school, especially his exemplary sword-fighting skills. He constantly stresses the importance of your elder brother for the future of the family. You listen to him dispassionately as you continue serving new dishes to the table. As you wait at the nobleman's table, you, your sister, and mother never bump into each other. Your labor is impeccable. Grandfather could not have found fault with it, even if he tried. Your shoulders and back are aching, but being a manservant inside your own house hurts even more. When the guests finally leave, Mother and Gloria embrace you with relief. You did not neglect your relatives and shared their humiliation, and the composure that you have shown gave you new strength. Yay! Now I have a great relationship with Gloria. We're good friends. And we're full of power. Hooray! Now we're 11 years old. Gonna take a drink while that happens. A dropped handkerchief. Hot, dry wind sweeps through the city from the barren lands around it. The noble residents of Anisote prefer to remain in their chambers, while the commoners huddle in tents or in the shade of the silver tree. You are on an errand right now. Your father wrote a letter to a noble acquaintance, and you are to deliver it. Thomas, the boy down the street, is tagging along. The two of you are inseparable now. The errand is an easy one, so you decide to take this opportunity to loiter around the part of Anisote where the nobles live. So here you are, in the middle of the city square, resting on the ancient brickwork by the old fountain in the merciful shade of the gargantuan silver tree. Thomas is by your side, lazily slouching on the edge of the fountain's basin. It's a hard life for commoners like you and me. Either you break your back in a workshop day and night, hoping someone will buy your goods someday, or you become a manservant to some noble. You never get a chance to enjoy life. This is our lot, you remind him. We work and endure and suffer. But Thomas waves your words away. Yeah, I know all that already. Mother keeps drilling that stuff into me. We must be humble, our strength is patience and persistent, so yeah, I say, but I want to make my fortune no matter what. So how ain't that living by my lot, I ask you? But the lots, they ain't easy. Let's take you, for example, Brant. Your father's a nobleman, but even that didn't make you one. Just look at your hands. You never had to work as hard as me, but we have the same lot, so we're supposed to suffer the same. Or look at your father. He's a judge. He toils at the prefecture day and night doing his judging, and he's a noble? I've never seen an Arachnean work as hard as he does. Dorian is certainly asking a lot. Yes. Oh yeah, maybe Gloria will jump in front of a horse for us. That means we can go near streets again. You shrug. The Archneans are doing a different. The Archneans are a different race. The books say the books say they were born to rule over humans. They are never commoners, always nobles of the sword by birth. They founded the empire after subduing all the human kingdoms on the continent. Humans will never be their equals. Archneans are always better, smarter, stronger, and their skin is a noble shade of blue. If the books are to be believed, of course. You have never seen one yourself. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's true. I don't think any of that's true. Your idle chatter is suddenly interrupted by a rugged-looking guardsman dressed in black and green. He chases you away from the fountain. Common rabble like you have no place here. You hear the clattering of hooves and wheels against the cobblestones and see flags bearing a coat of arms, a sable serpent on a field of vert. It makes you squirm. It is the Archduke's coat of arms, the Melanidas dynasty. The carriage door opens, revealing a young lady in a luxurious dress. You cannot look away from her. Those dainty shoulders suggested, but not revealed. They're definitely revealed. What are you talking about? Her black hair cascading over them. Her stately, slim silhouette, her pouty lips and prim nose, and those eyes, dark like the night sky. The way she moves, fluidly, gracefully, and the most incredible of all, her skin glows an azure blue. She is a masterpiece given life. She is an Archnean. Oh, okay, well I guess they do have blue skin. Fine. I guess I believe it now. Clear the way for me. The Melanidas guardsmen work quickly to clear the way to the fountain for the Archnean lady. The searing sun glances on her skin in bizarre patterns. With one elegant motion, she reveals a handkerchief, then leans over the basin and wipes her head and neck with its cool water. Well, I'll be. That's Octavia Melanidas, our Archduke's own daughter. The Archnean turns away and proceeds gracefully back to her carriage. You see something slip out of her hand and fall onto the cobblestones right next to you. Her handkerchief. It is right there by your feet, intricate craftsman, expensive woven fabric, delicately decorated with emerald filigree. Your heart skips a beat. Will you dare draw the beautiful Archnean's attention in order to return her lost possession? Or would you rather not attempt to cross the chasm between you and her? It's true. Well, the Blue Man Group has, like, bright blue skin. You know, these people have, like, a delicate blue skin. Wait, both of these are keep it? We have some willpower to spare. And then she'll remember us, okay. Hide the trophy, planning to sell it later. Watch her depart, trying to burn her every movement into our memory. And keep it as a memento. I wanted to keep it. I thought our options might be one to be like, rather than touch it ourselves, because we're probably going to get yelled at, to be like, get your grubby commoner paws off her handkerchief. I thought maybe there'd be an option where we could be like, hey ma'am, you dropped your handkerchief, you know, or like, you know, something along those lines, something else. But the other ones are just us keeping it like a creep, or it's keeping it to sell it, which, like, I don't know, it's just kind of sketchy. Like, I want to give it back. It's just rude to steal it and sell it. And then, like, I don't feel like, because we're not, like, desperately poor, right? Like, our family's not doing bad. We don't need the money that badly. It'd be different if we were, like, you know, an orphan boy living on the streets. But, like, why are we all of a sudden this, like, rogue character? Like, that's not what we're doing at all. And keeping it as a memento is kind of creepy. So... eat it to gain her power. Honestly, that would be another good option. We'll give it back to her. I hate to use willpower on this, but like, at least it gets us a little bit more stuff, I guess. I don't know. I didn't really like her too much. But yeah, I mean, okay, so here's the reason I don't like her, which I know is, oh, it's not gonna show me her picture. Okay. Well, okay, so basically, the reason I don't like her is she looks to me like Esmeralda from The Hunchback of Notre Dame, right? And, like, that's fine and all. Nothing against Esmeralda, but like, 'cause she's cool. But, like, this is the Archduke's daughter. She's, like, practically, like, the princess of this town. And it's almost like, why is she looking like someone, you know, performing on the street? Not that, like, I'm trying to, like, shame her for revealing her shoulders, even though the text says she doesn't. It just, like, to me, it feels like she's cosplaying as Esmeralda, like, cosplaying as, like, Romani or something. And, like, I don't know. I don't know. It's with lying shoulders. I don't know if she doesn't. I don't know, and I also don't know if I really like the blue skin. Like, if she's gonna be a romantic mistress, I'm just not really into blue skin. You know, that's not like the aesthetics I go for personally. And I don't know about our character here. Maybe Sir Brant really likes blue people, but I'm just not really into that skin tone. But mostly I don't like how it feels like she's cosplaying Esmeralda. Like, she's cosplaying being poor, you know? I don't really like that so much. But, I don't like her other options, so we'll choose this one. Because I wanted to give it back to her. I just didn't want to personally give it back to her. I wanted to, like, yeah, see, look. She looks like Esmeralda. Okay. It takes a moment to overcome your fear. You follow young Lady Melanidas and call out to her in a nervous voice. She turns around, her beautiful face marred by a puzzled expression. You extend the dropped handkerchief toward her. Lady Octavia's face contorts into a sneer. She signs to the guardsman indifferently. See, I knew we'd get yelled at. I knew it. You native blue girl. I mean, you know, I'm not. It's not a you know, it's not like a definite thing. But it's just like, you know, one for the cons category. I knew we'd get in trouble for touching the handkerchief. I knew it. That's why I wanted to, like, call out to her. Because, I mean, we'd still probably get in trouble, but we'd probably get in less trouble, you know? But, like, she better not be our romantic interest. One, because she's already clearly way older than us, because we're 10, or so 11. And I kind of like Sophia. Like, I mean, it might be a little, because we saved her life, so it might not be the best, like, relationship, because she'll feel like she owes us. But, you know, I don't know. Like, maybe, like, because we saved her life, but maybe she could save ours too, and then we'd feel even, and then we could have a nice relationship. But why are these pages torn like this? Other pages haven't been torn like this, right? It's interesting. A guardsman's gauntlet-clad hand slaps you in the face. It rings your head like a heavy bell. Your nose cracks obediently under the staggering force. The rest of you follows suit, and you fall prone. You can discern the guardsman's voice through the painful din in your ears. Should I take the handkerchief back, lady? After a commoner's hands have befouled it, let him wipe himself with it for all I care. See, I knew it. I knew we shouldn't have touched it. I knew no one would like that. She remembers us. For good or for bad? Because I'm fine if she remembers us poorly. Because she can be our enemy. That's fine. She seems like a good enemy. The carriage drives away. Thomas runs up to you and drags you back to the fountain. Your head is still ringing from the blow. The fateful handkerchief is still crumpled in your hand. We wasted our willpower on you, Olivia. Matters of the heart. Meet a girl. Experience first romantic. But that wasn't romantic at all. That was awful. Awful first date. Okay, 12 years old. It's a little romantic. It depends on what you go for, I guess. 11:30, year 1130, spring. The quorum decree. 12 years old now, you overhear an important conversation. It is a spring night, and Mother has just sent everyone to bed. You walk past Father's study and hear voices coming from beyond the door. Grandfather is yelling and Father is replying quietly. The elder Brant men are fighting, arguing about the place of the commoners in the city. You sneak outside to avoid Mother's attention and hide next to the open window of the study. Perhaps they'll mention you too.
That low-life idiot had the gall to pay me a visit and beg me for some service. He had the insolence to ask me outright. He thought I was going to support his claim for the chairman's seat in the lesser quorum. How dare he? Father, please listen. Mayor Egmont may be lowborn, but he carries a lot of clout in Magra. He owns 5 iron mines. A friend like him could be quite useful, should he become the chairman of the lesser quorum. I don't give a damn who this Egmont is, Robert. What he is, however, is low-born. His lot is humility and obedience. The likes of him can never rule anything. They're nothing but a flock of sheep that need a firm, noble hand to guide them.
Bro, Gregor, you were born a low-born too, okay?
I wasted so many years trying to quash that quorum decree, but that accursed Cornelius Tempest did everything in his power to make the Emperor sign that pathetic screed. And now even lowlifes can wield power. True power, Robert.
Once again, you were born lowborn.
Just the right to discuss the size of the Archduke's tax.
Just the right to discuss the size of the Archduke's tax. Nothing more.
That is only the beginning. What's next? Are they going to arm the lowlifes now, make them into judges? If the Empire rejects the foundations and the lots, the entire edifice will crumble. Bah! Who am I telling this to? It is already crumbling. You, my son and heir, are the harbinger of its destruction.
Once again, Gregor, born lowborn. You were made a judge. But...
Father, I'm begging you. I do not wish to marry a 3rd time. Lydia is a good wife and a dutiful mother to my children. If you would only allow her to. I will allow them nothing. Neither Egmont nor that freeloading wench of yours. What will you want me to do next? Live by the laws of the lowborn? I can already see where this is going, and I'd rather run my own sword through my gut than live in a country where nobles and lowlifes share the same rights. My only dream is to see the name of Brante in the Blue Book. But that dream will never come true. They will never call me Venerable El Brante, and it's all because of this marriage of yours. My only hope is to hear Stephen addressed in such a manner one day. Thank the twins I didn't let you ruin the boy. He's about to grow up a true nobleman. His children will bear the name of El Brante.
You have 2 more grandsons.
Those spineless milksops from the common lot, they're incapable of anything.
Dude, I am not spineless. Did you see me kill myself for that girl? I jumped in front of those horses.
The best your middle son, that's me, could do is sneak into the Imperial College and get ennobled by the mantle, although I have grave doubts about even that. As for the downtrodden Nathan, I hold out no hope for him whatsoever.
Okay, first off, I'm the downtrodden one by those horses in the street. Secondly, dude, once again, you got ennobled, although you weren't born noble. Like, buddy, stop being such a hypocrite. Oh yeah, maybe we actually, it wasn't a romantic encounter and we just got confused by getting our head smacked backed over. We're just like, that was great. Yeah. Yeah, that's me. I should pop up your middle son. Me! I say from the window, and then he pulls us in, and then I'll say, I ain't dropping no eaves. You hear grandfather's heavy footsteps, and the thudding of his cane, and the slamming of the door. It's time to sneak back home before you're discovered. Power. What's this? Okay, so the Overseer is still in power. But the power is beginning to go to the commoners. See, once again, it feels like either having the Overseer in power or commoners in power. One or the other is best. Because old nobility in power, that sounds like bad, especially with its counterbalanced by Reign of Terror on the other side. Those both clearly seem way too extreme. And struggle for power, that's like difficult because that's like got struggle in it. I don't want struggling, I want like kind of a nice happy place. And I think either Overseer or Commoners, one or the other, is a good place to be without being too extreme, but compromise is always wrong. See, but it's not struggle. The middle one isn't compromise, it's struggle. You see, that's where they're warring.
What that tells us is you can't have two completely equal powers. One will always kind of come out on top if it's in a state of like balance, like of peace. If they're both equally matched against each other, they will fight each other. And honestly, that's kind of true. If you have two people in power, that's usually why you have the third to counterbalance. If you have two, you do see fighting. So, like, to be fair, you can't have, like, it probably wouldn't be good to have the commoners in power and the overseer in power, like, equally, because they will fight it out. Like, that's why in the US we have our three branches of government to balance each other out, because if you just had like the president and Congress, they would always fight. You need the Supreme Court to at least balance it out a little bit. The two will not, like, they will continue to fight until one has a little bit more power, and then that'll rest for a while that way. So either overseer or commoners in power means, like, that is the compromise that has the greatest amount of peace. One or the other, but struggle for power will be a constant. That's not going to be like, that'll have like kinetic motion to it, basically. Anyway, let's continue. It's better than having two in power. It's kind of like in ancient Rome, the triumvirates. If there were a triumvirate of three equal people in power, that balanced out a little bit better. When the third falls out of place, the two basically break out into open civil war. If either the third isn't very strong or the third dies like Crassus or Lepidus, then that's where you have Caesar and Pompey fight it out, and then later you have Octavian and Mark Antony fight it out because Lepidus isn't a strong third contender. So typically the third is kind of important, because if you don't have that third, you always war it out. Unless you kind of balance out, if you're looking at like ancient Sparta where you have the Gerousia and the two kings, that kind of is three, even though you have the two kings. The difference there is one king is older and one is younger, so it's kind of like a mentor relationship, but you have all sorts of different situations. Usually three is the better, more balanced option for systems of government. So that actually was a kind of like smart choice for the founding fathers for the US. It's better than two. Two would have been worse. So it could be worse, and that's kind of the issue there. Okay, school begins. Sith have a rule of two, and it seems to work all right for them. I mean, does it though? Okay. He started studying at the school of Sir Tibor and began to master the sciences. Okay. A storm of expectations. Finally, the day comes when the teachers stop coming to the house. But before you can breathe a sigh of relief and put away the books, Father asks you to come to his study. We are about Hogwarts age. You've grown, my son. It's time for you to continue your education away from home. I've chosen a deserving school for you, Sir Tibor's School for the children of noblemen and well-off commoners. We're a well-off commoner, that's us. Naturally, it is not a boarding school for nobles, so you will study there during the day and come home in the evening. You share the news with your best friend Thomas. Sir Tibor's School, eh? Yeah, I gotta ask my parents to send me there, too, as soon as they get the coin together. Father says his workshop has toiled day and night for years to save up for my education. The school is based in an ancient estate of Archnean design. The classrooms are tall and spacious, with massive benches. The sounds of scraping quills and lectures on history, imperial law, and theology echo under the vaulted ceilings. The rules are strict, the lessons tiring. Restless Thomas keeps getting distracted, and several times he gets his hand slapped with a stick for it. Every teacher demands flawless mastery of their subject. Every day Father asks you about your studies. You have already told him twice how Magra joined the Empire, and how the nobles' courts of honor is different from the commoners' civil court and the city prefecture, but Father keeps pressuring you to work even harder. When it is time to go to bed, Mother will not let you go to sleep until you recite a newly learned prayer for her. And when it is time to go to school, you promise her every day that you will behave with great humility and steer clear of insolent behavior of any kind, for you still live by the commoner's lot, and that lot is hard work and suffering. Your first month in school draws to a close, and the teachers announce that there will be exams at the end of the month to determine the best and worst students in each subject. I like how it's the best and worst. You need You need to shame the worst ones. Father insists that you devote all your spare time to studying law and history if you wish to follow in his footsteps. But when you speak to Mother every day, you start considering theology. You still remember the revelations and divine visions that came to you in your earliest years. You have only one more day until the exam. You have locked yourself away in your room. It is already getting late. Your desk is covered with handwritten notes surrounded by leather-bound books. Just looking at them makes you queasy, but you have to read through all of them again, at least for one of your subjects. There's a nagging thought on your mind. Thomas ended up in big trouble the other day. He got in a fight with several boys who lived next street. They heard about your wooden fortress and got in an outrage by the fortification built by commoners. They swore to dismantle it tonight. Thomas swore he would defend the fortress until the end. Perhaps you should abandon the books to rescue the friend in need? But then you hear your little brother Nathan knocking at the door. He stands there shyly, not saying a word. He often does that, standing still and staying speechless until either you speak first or he runs away. But this time, he actually says something. The door is locked. Are you okay, sir? Is there anything I can do to help? Your head is spinning. This is the last evening before the school exam. If you fail, your family will be very disappointed. You have to refresh your theology on law. You have to refresh your memory on law or theology, either one or the other. But Thomas and your fort are about to be stormed. Why today of all days? You grind your teeth in rage at the thought. Nathan is by the door, trying not to bother you. He wants to help you the only way he can, for reasons known only to him. Will you accept his help? What's he gonna do to help us? Doesn't make sense. Okay, so here's the thing, is I wish that we could study a different subject other than law and history, or theology, because I don't really want to learn either of those things. And I kind of want to go help Thomas. Once again, I feel like that's the noble thing to do. But it's not giving us noble points. I think ingenuity is just what they say for nobility. And we could spend a moment with Nathan. Not sure why. He wants to help us, but it sounds like we'll be helping him. It sounds like he needs company right now for whatever his reasons are. And we're not going to get any study done with him. We're not going to, he's helping us. But if he really wants to help us, he should just go away right now. Honestly, if he wants to help us, he needs to go help Thomas at the fort is what needs to happen. He needs reinforcements, Nathan. Go help. See, why don't they give me that as an option? Why can't I send Nathan to the fort and then I stay here and study law and history? You know? That sounds like the best option, but they're not giving me that option. So I'm going to have to go help Thomas myself. But, I'd prefer to just send Nathan to do that. Nathan can do that just as well. We really just need an extra body there I don't know what fighting is going to happen, but, I could have sent Nathan. I didn't realize I'd be pushing Nathan out of the way. I thought I was going to be sneaking out of the house. Why am I pushing him? Okay. You push Nathan out of the room. He cannot possibly help you prepare for the exam, but once you are sure nobody is behind the door, you open the window and climb out into the yard and over the fence. And then you run like the wind to your wooden fort where Thomas is in peril. I also could have told Nathan to cover for me back home. The battle for the fort has already begun. Thomas is cornered. He swings a loose wooden plank, fending off 3 boys at once. This is not a fair fight by any means. Your friend is rugged enough to have a fighting chance against 2 of them, but 3 is too many for him to handle alone. Where have you been, sir? They're about to smash our fort! Get 'em! You flank the assailants and slam into them at full speed, channeling the cavalry of the holy warriors. Oh yeah, that's our little toys! Yay! You take them by surprise as you pull one of the aggressors away and knock him out with a punch to the jaw. Thomas cheers you on. You team up and make short work of the remaining foes. Your enemies retreat in shame. Thomas got a black eye and his knuckles are all covered in blood, but he looks unusually pleased with himself. I slammed Nathan to the floor, consuming one of his lives. Yeah. Wonder how many lives we took tonight, Thomas. Good job. Couldn't have done it without you. Just look at them trying to tell us where to build our fort. Okay, time to fix her up. Your score on the exam was merely satisfactory, but still well above a failing grade. See, that's fine. Fine. See, we didn't go on the wall of shame at all. It's fine. The family is not too happy with you, but life goes on and your studies continue. You know what? Honestly, my family should be proud of me if they knew what I actually did. I stuck up with a friend and I defended my fort, and like that is really what matters here. That's how you get places in life. That's how you do it. You know you could have worked harder to prove yourself to your teachers, but your wooden fort still stands proud, and that is what matters. It's exactly what I said. I hadn't read that first, but it's exactly what I said. And now we're even better friends with Thomas. And we're bright, too. Somehow not studying made us smarter. I don't understand, but, you know, it's the way it works. Okay. 11:30, fall. Noble titles. I need a drink real quick. Your education continues. As you study imperial law, you come to realize that there is a certain hierarchy even within the noble estate. It seems your father's status is not quite equal to that of the more eminent human and Arknian gentry. You return home with this new information at your disposal. Father asks you about school after dinner, as he always does. Are we going to tell him that we know he's not as cool as a lot of other people are? Because that we probably shouldn't tell him that part. And what is the difference between nobles of the mantle and those of the sword, sir? You already have an answer ready. The latter status is hereditary, meaning that it is passed down from father to son. After the Arknians, nobles of the sword are the most eminent humans in the empire. They own land and estates, they fill offices of the highest ranks, and the names of their bloodlines are preserved within the Great Blue Book. Nobility of the sword can only be granted by the overseer, the province, or the emperor himself. And how are such eminent people addressed? With the honorific L before their last name, you respond. Sir Augustin L. Bourne, for example. Father pats you on the shoulder, clearly pleased. And what about the Arknians and their status? What have you learned about them? The Arknians stand above all human gentry. They are born to rule over humans regardless of their titles. No L is required when addressing them. They need no honorifics, for the names of their ancient dynasties are known to all. Father nods somberly. Yes, we can never be their equals. Do whatever an Arknian tells you, and never defy them. Ever. And what about grandfather and me? Where do we stand as nobles? That is easy. Father and grandfather are nobles of the mantle. This title cannot be inherited, but it can be earned by any commoner as a reward for great service to the empire in the legion or as a civil servant. Father suddenly grows quiet and looks you in the eye intently. Yes, and someday you will earn a noble title too, son. All in due time. Sir Tibor's school teaches children of all stripes. Nobles of the mantle and low-born parents can send their sons here, and every passing day, the children of noblemen invent new ways to snub and bully the commoners. Most of the time, the bully leading them is Diederik, the son of the secretary for the imperial chancellery and a self-important slob. The sons of noblemen never pick on you, however. They know your father has been ennobled by the mantle. However, Diederik and his retinue soon choose Thomas as their favorite victim. Time and time again, you ask your friend not to pay them any mind, but again and again, Thomas grows angry and snaps at their self-satisfied mockery. It is early morning. The students are busy flocking to the classroom for the next lesson. You wave Thomas over when you see him. He waves back at you, and then a bucket full of slop splashes on him. Needless to say, it is the work of Diederik and his entourage. You hear a familiar creaky laughter. The tailor's son stinks. How dare he sit next to decent folk? Thomas clenches his fist. You're dead, Diederik. He throws himself at Diederik's haughty entourage like a soldier ready to wage war. He attacks them first. This is just what they expected, and they are free to retaliate. He barely makes one movement before 4 pairs of hands grab him at once. Diederik sneers and kicks your friend in the belly. Thomas gasps for air and starts coughing. You stand between them as Diederik readies another kick. The nobleman's son cocks an eyebrow. Why do you mingle with commoners, he asks. Your father is a noble of the mantle. You ought to be friends with your own kind, your equals, not the dirt beneath your feet. Bro, I am a commoner. I should kick him and say that. Behind him, 4 boys hold Thomas down as he struggles furiously. The other students are watching you, frozen in fear. Diederik haughtily extends a hand to you. He clearly expects you to shake it. What will you do? I cannot shake his hand. Why? because I need a bad reputation with Thomas. So it will not let me betray Thomas. Interesting. Let's see. Are we gonna challenge him to a fight? Yeah, that's my nobility I'm talking about. School authorities on Diederik and his retinue. Or admonish. I don't think the authorities are gonna care. Like, what's he gonna do? Thomas attacked them first. Thomas knows that full well, because Nathan attacked him first, and then Thomas got to push him in that ditch. Because, well, Nathan didn't even attack him. Nathan just made fun of him, right? And now here Thomas was the one. They made fun of him. So, I mean, I guess it's the same thing, like, because they were making fun of him. So we set a bad example to Thomas because we kind of said that making fun of someone is like starting it, and that means you're open to retaliation back, and that's okay and fair, when it's clearly not, when it's noble. So, but we like respected Thomas's reaction when he made fun, when he beat up Nathan for laughing at him. So now that these guys do it and then he beats them up, like it's not okay anymore. Like, that's our fault. We shouldn't have done that. Some parents who have been in a woman, so their commoners lot. Yeah, we could, you know, I think I had to pick this one. I don't care about spirituality, but it was my response. Which was that even though I have a dad who is, like noble or whatever, the mantle, I still am a commoner. So, like, and I'm not gonna deny that, right? I'm like digging my heels into that these days. Like, I can still be cool and a commoner at the same time, just watch me. But we could fight him too. And that's also very in line with our character. Let's see. I think we're gonna fight him because, like, as much as my like response is like, dude, you're dumb, I'm still a commoner. Like, we want to be like one of our little holy warriors, right? We just defended the fort. Thomas is our buddy. We're gonna challenge him to combat. That seems like correct move. I'm gonna do it. It's not my initial reaction, but feels in character still. You do not shake his hand. Instead, you challenge Diederik to display at least some dignity by fighting you one-on-one. That is, if he considers himself a nobleman's son, of course. Diederik's face grows serious. There is no way for him to refuse this challenge in public. Diederik makes a sign, and Thomas is released and pushed to the floor. He gets back on his feet, cursing and itching to rush at them again, but you hold your friend back. The teacher of Imperial Law comes into the room just in time. Everybody immediately returns to their seats. A day full of lessons begins. You keep daydreaming of Diederik's face. Well, are we into him now? Now you are going to put an end to that nasty smile of his. Okay. Let's catch that bastard together, clean as clock. He hurt me, not you. The deal has been made, you tell your friend. This is a matter of your honor now. Thomas huffs angrily, but agrees. Diederik is already waiting for you in a narrow back street by the school, his retinue by his side. You walk forward and give him an opportunity to end this dispute once and for all. This is the nobleman's way. If you win this battle, Diederik and the other children of nobles will never pick on the commoner's sons again. If he wins, you will never stand in their way and protect other students. Okay, so here's the deal. Thomas, you're my second. If I die, it's on you. Also, if his friends jump in and start attacking me too, then you can join me, okay? So be ready. Be ready. You will fight him one-on-one. Diederik walks forward uncertainly. You both roll up your sleeves. You raise your fists in a fighting stance. Diederik tries to copy your movements. You hit him first. Yeah. I mean, fighting has taken us this far. We gotta stay the course. You raise your fist in a fighting stance. Okay, read that. You hit him first. Diederik does manage to land several glancing blows, but he is fighting a losing battle. He has never been in a real street fight. Thomas nods in approval. You have learned a lot from him. It does not take long for Diederik to stop fighting back. One more blow, and he squeals and raises his hands. You have won. You turn to the other noblemen's sons with a victorious look on your face. No more teasing, and if anyone else says so much as one bad word about Thomas, they'll pay. Diederik's former retinue disperses silently. Yay. We have a better relationship with Thomas now? And we are honorable. That's good. That's good. We were unprincipled. Now we're honorable. That's good. Noble and dignified would be cool too, but I'm happy if we just stay at honorable, I'll be happy with that. That's fine. And I feel because we're splitting our points that we will lose some sort of test coming up eventually. But, you know, yeah, unfortunately we didn't finish him off, which is quite sad. But he did squeal like a little pig, and, you know, we have to have some satisfaction in that. Okay, the Silver Tree. Your theology teacher tells you more about Anazote. It is more than just the provincial capital. It is also a sacred place blessed by the gods. It is where the twin gods' first disciples spilled their blood, and from that blood grew the sacred silver tree. Its enormous foliage hangs over the city. You see its branches in the sky every day, but you have never approached the trunk of the tree yourself. Today you will be taking your first trip to the silver tree. Field trip! Your class is visiting a service in the great temple by the tree's very roots. Thanks to your theology teacher, you and the other students will witness this landmark of the twins' advent up close. Everybody is excited. Soon you and the other boys enter the slums surrounding the church district of Anazote. The roots are pulsating under your feet. They spread underground all throughout the area. Pathetic, cramped hovels and filthy streaks surround the trunk of the tree. They are home to paupers, day laborers, and preachers. The people of the district bow humbly to you and point you towards the temple. They seem at peace despite the abject poverty in which they live. All who live directly beneath the tree are filled with its divine grace, your teacher says. People come here to make peace with the world and their fate in it. Your class is unusually quiet. Everyone is listening to the rustling of the leaves and the underground beating of the roots. The sky above you is obscured by the tree's canopy. You find the temple of the twin gods right next to the tremendous trunk of the tree. It almost seems a part of it. There is a crowd there, pilgrims dressed in traveling clothes, paupers and beggars, common people of the city, and the occasional well-dressed noble. There are arguments among some people who are gathered in separate small groups. Many people are wandering around, staring upwards at the tree's branches. The tree impresses you with its might and the calm emanating from it. You are filled with a desire to sit down and think of the world, to learn something about yourself, to touch the silver-white bark and hearken to the whispering leaves. You are distracted enough to fall back from the rest of your classmates. You notice a small path. It should take you right next to the trunk. A tall, red-haired woman walks out of the crowd of pilgrims. She is wearing a worn white robe. She is no longer young, but her face is youthful and covered in freckles. Her hands clutch a book. You have never seen this lady pilgrim before, yet she looks at you almost as if she has recognized a lifelong friend. She beckons to you and says her name. Matilde, a preacher from Estinia. What she says next shakes you to your very core. It is commendable to see a young man so keen to learn the teachings of the twins, she says. Yet you will never follow the light of truth within the walls of the temple. Inside you will find only the lies of the lots, the erring words of Prophet Esatius, sanctified by the passage of centuries. Yet anyone who sets out to read the accounts of the twins' own lives knows that they never so much as mentioned the lots. You know what? That sounds about right. Probably. The red-haired preacher's words frighten you. They clash with everything you have heard from Mother, everything you have been taught at school. The lots are a lie? You freeze in fear. Should you argue with Matilde or ask her for more information? Or should you treat her as a madwoman and catch up with your classmates? We should probably read the actual story of the twins is probably what we should do, and then decide for ourselves. Where's that option? You suddenly feel a small, warm hand grasp your own. You see a girl right next to you. She is just a little older than you, wearing a black dress, threadbare yet almost spotless. Her hair is covered by a handkerchief. No, it's not. With only a single golden lock showing. No, she has a lot of locks showing. Her brown eyes are burning with rage, her hand pulling you away from the red-haired preacher. You stare in confusion at the strange young girl, your cheeks flushed by the sudden touch. But there is just a bit of color on her cheeks, too. But then she starts speaking to you quickly. Don't listen to her. She's dangerous. Come to the temple with me. Only there will you see the truth. Yeah, it's an invisible handkerchief. But how did we know it was there? You stand there, surrounded by the crowd of praying pilgrims, and the sounds of shuffling feet torn between two people you have never seen before, and each of them expects you to follow her. But all the while you hear the whispering of the wind in the tree's branches. The branches reach out to you, almost as if the tree wishes to speak to you itself. Can you hear its voice? Oh, we should go to the tree. We cannot listen to the tree. Okay, no, we can go to the tree. We just can't speak to the tree? Oh, she's a romantic interest, this girl. Okay. But we lose willpower. But I don't know if I like her very much. She's telling us to go to the temple. We're gonna talk to the tree. The tree is beautiful. The silver-white foliage stretches and spreads towards the sky, held aloft by a trunk so thick it would be a challenge to walk around it. I mean, that's... What do you mean? It's just a trunk you walk around. How big is it? What do you mean? You walked all the way here. There's no way it's longer. Like, you could walk around this trunk really easily. What are you talking about? The leaves rustle and whisper peacefully in the wind. The tree, it seems to speak to you. You walk away from the odd-looking preacher and the young acolyte, ignoring them as they call out to you. You walk around the temple and the crowd of people, getting closer to the tree with every step. Then you extend a shaking hand and touch the bark. It is unusually warm. You can feel a pulse beneath the roots. The tree is alive. The roots are so gigantic they form grottos, spaces of air embraced by the roots in the ground. You squeeze into one of those grottos. It is unusually bright and quiet, shielded from the noise of Anizote. Right now, there is only you and the tree. You sit down. There are leaves rustling all around you. The only noise you hear is the beating pulse of life that flows through the tree, and this pulse beats in time with your own heart. You feel clarity and calmness, free of doubt and frustration. The tree speaks to you. Or are they your own thoughts, so strange, unfamiliar, and eye-opening? These thoughts speak of soothing love, of crystal clear law, and of love and law intertwining to bring the miracle of life to you. You stop slouching, and your frown becomes a light smile. Hours pass like fleeting seconds. You lose track of time until you overhear someone shouting your name. Alas, it is time to leave this grotto. The sun is setting over Anizote now. The day was quick to pass. Your teacher frowns, ready to scold you. You mumble an explanation and say you are ready to be punished for disobedience. Yet, instead, the teacher nods in understanding. You keep looking back at the tree all the way home. Whatever happened to you today, you find it difficult to put into words. It's challengeable. Yeah, it's kind of like a mama joke. No, unfortunately, a tree is not a romantic interest. That'd be cool, though. But just the girl who wanted to drag us to the temple. Which is fair. The other lady was older, so I'm glad she's not a romantic interest. She's too old for us. The other girl was just a little older than us, so like she's the right age. And like we did blush at her touch. She touched us, and like that was blush worthy. So I can see how that's like a romantic encounter. Way more romantic than that other girl that we are romancing, I guess, currently in our little. Oh wait, we have a relations thing. Wait, let's see here. Okay, yeah. See, we have. Look, see, we have a. She remembers us. Going well. Zero relationship, but she remembers us, so this is our romance. It's good. Oh wait, we also have Sophia. I don't know if she's not like a romanceable. She remembers us. Sophia does not remember us. Unfortunately. And then her. Well, I guess she's on our list as well. We just also have no relationship with her. She doesn't remember us, and we don't have a relationship. At least we have +1 with Sophia, and Octavia remembers us. That's going well. Thomas, he has our sympathy? He has our sympathy? Bro! We're +3 friends. We should be better than that. And then, our half-brother's uncle, is, also, for some reason, we're a friend with him, I guess, but... Yeah, she like doesn't even remember us. She likes us though. She likes us a little bit. She's still mostly indifferent, but she's like a little less indifferent. But she likes us. She just doesn't know who we are, but she knows she remembers us. Or she doesn't remember us, but she knows she likes us at least. Okay. Next, we have plenty of willpower now, so we can do all sorts of cool things in future. The Shadow of the Past. I need a drink real quick. I like how they're like side is like the pictures are like vaguely slightly animated. It's kind of nice that it like moves around. Keeps your keeps the screen from getting too dull. Another day has ended. You are making your way home, still mulling over the things you learned from your teachers. The founding of the empire, the eternal and unshakable rule of a single dynasty, the 3 estates, each with its own rights. What an odd sort of order the world has, and yet so mysterious. At least it sounds that way when your teachers talk about it. Mother is waiting for you on the porch. She smiles gently when she sees you, and yet her expression still shows great concern. Father left on a trip to several distant Magrin towns a few days ago. Since then, Mother has been trying to tell you something, but she seems uncertain. Son, could you put your things away and come pray with me? You join Mother in a prayer to the twins. She prays with fervent sincerity, her head bowed low, reciting the words of obedience to them and their greater design in a barely audible whisper. You repeat after her, just as she has taught you ever since you were a little boy. When the prayer ends, Mother sighs and turns to you. Sir, my son, you are 13 now. You'll be grown soon. It's time you learned about certain things that are important to our family. Difficult things. It's about your father and me. About our marriage. You gaze curiously into Mother's eyes. I'm sure you've wondered about this before. Your father is a nobleman of the mantle, so how could he marry a commoner with another man's child? But you see, sir, your father, when his first wife, Amalia Elborn, died, it was a painful blow to him. He lost the will to live, lost all purpose. He felt like his own destiny was cut short that day as well. And then he met me. Is this just you bragging about how much my dad loves you? Like, chill. You know the troubles I had in the past. I went to the prefecture as a petitioner, to ask them for help, protection, justice. When I was a young girl, I worked at a small shop that sold crockery and dishes. A nobleman took a liking to me. May his name be forever forgotten. See, she doesn't remember her first guy. The twins know I was humble, and honored his lot to rule, but he took me by force. Mother falls silent, summoning the courage to continue. Gloria is that nobleman's daughter, but he was outraged. How could I have the gall to burden him with low-born progeny? He turned me out on the street with that little baby girl in my arms. Mother's voice is shaking now. You take her hand tenderly. I had no home, no honor, nowhere to go, no one to help me. When I went to the prefecture, I didn't really think the judges there would help me find justice against my former master. But when Sir Robert heard my plea, his eyes met mine, and I believe that at that very moment the twins themselves granted him the gift of their love. Your father told me that there was nothing he could do to make that detestable nobleman marry me, but he would never abandon me and baby Gloria. And if I agreed, he would take me into his own home. Tears are running down Mother's cheeks. And I knew it, my son. I knew how much his honor and reputation would suffer, but caring for me brought him back to life. It's like he experienced another sacrament. He rediscovered his noble purpose, his lot to rule and protect and care for others. But his decision to marry me, he is still paying for it today. Your father had the courage to defy your grandfather, the founder of his bloodline. If only you knew how much he had to endure, my son. If only you knew the despicable rumors we heard about the Brants all over Anizote. It was only thanks to the efforts of Sir Gregor that the Brant bloodline managed to hang on to what little remained of its reputation, and now the noble families have all but forgotten about that scandal, thank the twins. Mother falls silent. She looks at you intently. Do you understand what she is telling you? My son, I'm not telling you this just to share the pain of my past. I have no reason to complain. Even Sir Gregor has accepted me through gritted teeth. He made you wait the table the last time he was here. Me and Gloria, too, just saying. But you need to understand the heavy burden our family must bear, including including our scandalous marriage and Gloria's foul origin. And Gloria, she can never be a Brant. Even if the elder Brants agreed, the news would stir up the old scandal in the minds of high society, and if that were to happen, sir, they would see even your birth as illegitimate. Mother sighs heavily. What I told you just now is something you have to know, son. You are about to enter adult life. But by my lot, I must be humble. I cannot tell you how to treat your family, but may I ask you a question? Now that you know all of this, do you still see Gloria as your sister? Absolutely. We're not allowed to ditch her because we are already too good friends with her. But we are definitely, we have always stayed by Gloria's side, and we will continue to do that. She has been nice to us, and we will continue to be nice to her. We could evade the question, but we don't need to evade the question. We'd lose points with Gloria and Lydia, but gain nobility by doing this. Bro, the nobility's not worth it. Nobility was only crappy choices. So there's a little bug around my computer. I just saw it. Tears. Or we can evade the question, and then we lower our relationship with Lydia, which I don't really care about too much, but we get willpower. But we already have so much willpower. We don't need more. We're good for now. We can, like, we have so much willpower, we have 15. We can jump in front of 3 carriages. And that would already kill us. That would kill us. We would die. Like, for reals. That would use up all of our lives. So, like, we have more than enough willpower. What are we going to do with any more willpower? Die for a 5th time? Can't do it. So, we'll accept Gloria as our sister, because she is our half-sister. That's going to count. Because she's nice. Filled with determination, you assure Mother that Gloria is and always will be your sister. You want Gloria to be a Brant, too. You want her to be a part of your family. Who cares what the nobles of Anazote say? Mother beams with quiet joy when she hears this. Oh, sir, if only you knew how happy that would make me, to have our family united at last. However, the joy on her face quickly gives way to concern. But I already owe good Sir Robert a debt I can never repay. He's given my daughter so much, a home, an education, his care and advice. The Brant bloodline could suffer so much from Gloria's existence. We should all just learn to accept her status as it is. Just then you hear Gloria carefully knock at the door of her mother's chambers. Awkward, or not her mother, of Mother's chambers, and that's awkward. Mother, sir, I couldn't find you. You happily greet your sister. Yes, she is your sister. No old secrets can ever change that. Mother gives you and Gloria a kiss on the forehead and returns to her prayers. You and your sister walk downstairs together. Mother is alone by her bedside now, thanking the twins with a quiet prayer for the Brant family they have given her. You hope they can hear her. We are full points with Gloria. Yay. And we're doing pretty good with our mother, too. Okay. A lot of empty pages here, a little unnerving. Year 1131, fall. The flash and the flame. You are 13 now, another theology lesson. Today's sermon is about the priests and why the clergy is the only one of the 3 estates with the right to interpret the lots, and guide the other 2 estates accordingly. Thomas sits next to you, huffing and puffing as he fervently writes down the teacher's every word. But you've heard all this from Mother many times before, so you take this moment to daydream a little. Father promised to take you to the capital once your studies are complete. But the teacher suddenly casts a stern look around the lecture hall and raises his voice at one of your classmates. A boy by the name of Brian jumps out of his seat. The teacher asks him to repeat what he had just said. Brian freezes and seems to shrink. He tries to muster a reply, but nothing comes out. The class becomes agitated. Someone is about to get punished. The teacher now looms over Brian. The boy's cheeks are flushed and his eyes are covered in tears. You all watch the teacher's iron-bound book as he raises it sharply, about to strike. Brian shrieks and raises a hand in front of him. A sudden flash. The teacher screams and buries his face in his arms. His hair is ablaze. His skin is covered in horrible burns. It's magic. Real magic, just like in the books about the Magro Rebellion. The class freezes in shock. There is a dull thud as the iron-bound book falls to the floor. Brian's hysterical laughter rends the silence. He stands up from his bench, fire in his eyes and sparks on his fingertips. There are screams now. Students run for the door. The teacher tries to extinguish his burning hair. Brian snaps his fingers, and the book of Isatius is on the desk, turns into pillars of flame. He laughs and raises his arms, and the curtains catch fire. The screams grow louder as the fire howls. Brian's face is tense and violent. His mouth is spewing flames, and his whole body is shaking with laughter. He steps towards the door. You and Thomas glance at each other. He's going to burn the whole school down. Your friend's determination makes you brave. You run behind Brian and knock him off his feet. You both tumble to the floor. Even through his clothes, his body sears your flesh. Brian screams, convulses, and grabs Thomas by the shoulders with his burning hands. Thomas howls but stays put, then knocks Brian senseless with several fierce blows to the head. There are servants fussing around the room now. They put out the fire and take away the teacher, his body covered in horrible burns. You and Thomas remain next to Brian, who is lying on the floor, silent. Soon 3 men in black coats enter the doors of the school, each bearing an edict sealed with silver. The Inquisition. You and Thomas are told to step away from the witch. They lock Brian's neck in a silver collar and take him away. This happened to you once in school too? I mean, it feels like a pretty common occurrence. Surprised he hasn't had it happen to him yet, honestly. Took him this long? A year? 2 years? Definitely should happen. Probably every year, to every kid. One of the Inquisitors remains behind to tell the students what happened. That was magic, he explains. The ungodly power that twists the minds of men into savage instruments of murder. Only the sacred shackles of silver can hold it at bay. Only the power of the twins can save us all from its evil grasp. The next day, you are forbidden from ever mentioning Brian's name again. He is no more. All the other kids named Brian had to change their name. And now we're good buds with Thomas. I didn't even have to make any choices there. It just happened. The Nobleman's Lot. A great day looms ahead. 100 years ago, Uther Tempest was anointed to rule over the Empire. Blessed by the twins themselves, the Emperor's reign continues into its 2nd century. Celebrations in honor of the Tempest dynasty are held throughout the city, and the school is closed for 2 weeks because of that. Yeah, that happens. Just a little thing that they let us know about. An important day, a big day, one might say. Memorable day for us. One of these evenings, Father tells everyone that Grandfather is going to bring Stephen back home for the holiday. Oh, no, not him. We hate that. They say families should celebrate the Day of Anointment together. But can we just, kick him out of our family? He doesn't want to be with us. He should go to a different family, you know? Go to his uncles, the whoever. Go to him, because he's their family. He can go to that family. Yeah, he shouldn't come to our family. You could benefit from your elder brother's company. With his noble education, Stephen might be able to teach you how noblemen are supposed to act. He is not going to do that. He's an asshole. Soon, Stephen arrives. He now handles himself differently. When it comes to ordering servants around and ignoring Gloria, he is still Grandfather's double, but he is more grown up now, and far less haughty to you. Really? I don't trust it. Yeah, you should celebrate together somewhere else. It is a dark winter evening. A damp, cold wind sweeps through the city from the barren lands of Macra. You and Stephen are sitting in the library. He is telling you all about Eterna, the capital of the Empire. It is full of so many wonders. The Imperial Palace, the enormous Temple of the Twins, the Military Academy, the Imperial College. You have read so much about these places, yet he has seen them firsthand. Nathan enters the library. He looks concerned. I can't find Gloria. I looked everywhere. She's not in the attic, not in the sitting room, not in the kitchen. I heard she wanted to sneak off to the ruins of Char Melanidas' palace. She could be lost in there. She's gone to the ruins of a palace? I want to go. Why did she not ask me? We're good friends. We're full 5 friends. 5 points. You and Stephen exchange looks. Char Melanidas, the rebellious duke, the ruins of his palace are a dangerous place. Some children claim his tainted magic still lingers there, which means you absolutely have to make your way there and back again to prove you are not afraid of the long-dead witch. Your brother tells you to wait. He leaves and soon returns with a sword in its sheath. Get ready, sir. We're going to rescue Gloria. She must have gone to the ruins in search of inspiration for another one of her little rhymes. The two of us... Why are you rescuing Gloria? I thought you usually ignored her and you hate her. You don't need to come along, Stephen. You really don't. Nathan and I've got this, and I'll go down the street and grab Thomas, and we'll go. We're good buds. The two of you instruct Nathan to tell your parents you've gone for a walk in the square. Okay, well, at least we're using Nathan to cover for us this time. That's smart. You and your elder brother head outside. You are confused by Stephen's actions. He refuses to treat Gloria like a human being, so why is he so determined to rescue her? Stephen notices your expression. Are you wondering why I care about Gloria all of a sudden? I can't act in any other way, can I? The law of honor compels me to protect my family. Gloria will never be a Brant, but father still took her into our house. I must respect his seniority and defend Gloria like she is one of our own. You are a Brant too, noble or not, which means it is your duty to aid me. The ruins of Char Melanidas' palace span an entire district. The palace was abandoned centuries ago, and its remnants are overgrown with thick underbrush. The ruined palace is empty, nothing but cold wind blowing over crumbling brickwork. Even the worst scum of the land steer clear of this place. You make your way through the ruins until you spot scattered sheets of paper covered in writing. Your sister's writing. You hear loud laughter coming from behind a dilapidated stone nearby. You pull yourself up to peer over it. Gloria is lying on the ground, face down, twitching and sobbing. A gaggle of drunk young thugs surround her, cackling and swinging their arms about. I thought even the worst scum of the land steer clear of this place. What are these thugs doing here? You hear their shouts. Look at the lass sitting here rhyming words together. She thinks she's all noble. But don't you worry, you low-born tart. We're gonna teach you your place. One of the louts spits at Gloria as she lies there. Get away from her this instant, you bastards, or I'll spill your guts. They respond with mocking laughter. Stephen draws his sword. The street thugs recoil in fear, but they soon notice that he is only one-armed man against many. They start reaching out for sticks and stones. Yeah, well, I have my fists, and they've taken out a couple lives before. Stay by my side. Don't let them flank me. Stephen's hand shakes, but he looks ready to battle. He is outnumbered. For a moment, you hesitate. Perhaps it might be better to run for the nearby district and call for guards. The young thugs are already armed with makeshift weapons. They start approaching you and Stephen cautiously. Do we charge the attackers? Okay, this takes some of our willpower. And I don't really want to help Stephen. Like, this gets us +2 with Stephen too, just like this one does. This one just gives us more nobility. But I don't really know if I need more nobility. Honor and pride, yeah, my 2 fists. I think we're just gonna charge the attackers. Like, heaviest rock I can find to get ready to fight. I don't really want to defend Steve. Like, I want to attack too. You know? Like, I know that's probably the better move, but like, I don't want to take orders from Steven. Okay? Because he's kind of an asshole. So, like, I just can't do it. If this was Thomas, I would do it, but it's not. So, we're going to charge the attackers. The louts try to flank Stephen and surround him. Your brother's sword thrusts and feints methodically, like in a training bout. The thugs keep dodging and jumping away. They've managed to stay safe so far. If things continue like this, soon one of them will flank Stephen, kick the sword out of his hand, and bring him down. The ruffians are paying no attention to you, however. For a moment, you want nothing more than to run away. You belong to the common law. You are not allowed to bear arms, not allowed to fight. But then you take one more look at Stephen, who is almost surrounded, and at Gloria, sprawled out on the ground. I can't act in any other way, can I? Your brother's words ring in your ears. You cannot run. You have to help him, no matter what. You pull a heavy rock out of the old wall. The tow-headed leader of the gang appears behind Stephen's back, ready to knock him down. No time to think. It takes you 3 steps to get to the foe. No time to think. You bash the thug in the head with the rock. The wretch stumbles and falls down. Okay, so like, didn't we also not technically obey Stephen by defending him and making sure no one flanks him? Like, that's literally what we just did. This is like the exact same as the other option. Like, how, if we, yeah, I guess this way, like, we hit the guy with a rock, but how else are we to stop? We're supposed to stop that guy from flanking him, right? Like, I don't get it. Stephen seizes an opportunity to strike and lunges at the louts. They scatter under his blows. You hear screams and swish and the swishing of the sword. You assault them too, swinging away with the heavy rock, until you catch something pointy in the side. I thought we might get hit with the sword. A wave of pain washes over you. Blood starts flowing down the side and onto your leg. Stephen shouts something, but your mind is already fading fast. When the darkness disperses, you find yourself laying on your back. Stephen is in the armchair next to you, reading a book. He is alive, with his left arm in a sling and a black eye, but still alive. As for you, it hurts so much when you try to breathe. You cannot help but moan quietly. Stephen looks up from the book. Don't try to get up. You lost a lot of blood. Fortunately, the Archduke's guards got there too late to see you swinging that boulder around. They'd have shown you no mercy otherwise. I'm swinging a boulder? Wow, I'm stronger than I thought. But I'm impressed, sir. You were unarmed, but you still fought them. You acted in a defiance of your lot, that much is certain, but you fought for our family's honor. You know, brother, the nobleman's lot is also a great burden that few are able to bear. It takes courage, not to fight everything you see, but to do your duty. Each and every decision a nobleman makes becomes a part of the family's legacy, flowing in the blood tide forever. I think about it often. A noble mustn't act weak, a noble mustn't suffer like the people of low-born lot. A noble must rule over them wisely. A noble must ensure that they have work to do. It's not merely your own lot you have to look after. You have to ensure that 1,000 others can live by their lot as well. And there are so many more matters to take care of. Honor, dignity, tradition. It's tough, but it's what it takes to be a nobleman. Do you understand what I am talking about? For the first time in a long while, your brother looks at you as an equal. It is a pleasure to fight side by side. I'm glad you and I are brothers. Okay, well, he's less of an ass now, but... Trial of the assailants. Before long, the entire city hears how a gang of low-born thugs assaulted Stephen Brante. Grandfather ensures that the brash young men are found. Some of them are taken into custody as soon as lesser death releases them. Grandfather seeks vengeance on those who hurt his favorite grandson. Prefect Elborn, a friend of your family, promises to personally oversee the trial and ensure that justice is served. Stephen and Grandfather decide to stay in Anizote until the trial ends. Grandfather demands true death for every single assailant. You ask Father to explain something. How can a legal court sentence criminals to true death? How can worldly judgment overrule the twins' law? Your words are true, my son. Their law is second to none. Yet the twin gods also made the empire and all its ways. The court of law exists to execute the laws of heaven here in the world. Should the court of law sentence a person to death, the law high above will always enforce it. And so every execution brings true death. The commoners who assaulted Stephen, a born nobleman, have committed a grave offense. There is no doubt about that. And yet, according to the Emperor's decree, even commoners have the right to defend themselves when they are about to face true death. This means that all of us will have to appear at the trial and testify before the court. Evening comes. Gloria visits your room. She looks crestfallen, and her fingers keep reaching for her long hair. You put away your schoolbooks and ask what is bothering her. The trial is tomorrow. I thought I was going to appear there too as an eyewitness. After all, this whole mess started because of me. But Sir Robert isn't even going to mention that I was there. Can you imagine? He says it would ruin the case. Why am I always in the way? Nobody ever mentions me. Nobody has to listen to me. It's like I don't even exist. And I thought Stephen standing up for me finally meant something. Maybe I will become a part of the family. But no, everything is back to usual now. Gloria tries her best to hold back the tears. You do your best to comfort her. Father just needs to keep the family out of trouble. If Sir Robert believes that I only bring trouble, why did he take me into the house at all? Gloria runs away. You return to your books, but you can't help but get lost in thought. What if they told the court you weren't there either? How would you feel then? There is a knock at the door. It is Father. He closes the door behind him and sits next to you. There is an exhausted look about him. Son, you will be testifying before the court tomorrow. Please remember what I'm about to tell you. Gloria wasn't at the ruins at all. You went there with your brother to inspect this historic site. The low-born men insulted Stephen first and then attacked him. Stephen had managed to deal with the assailants on his own by the time the guards intervened. Gloria will cast suspicion on the case. If we mention her very existence to the court, the reputation of the family will suffer. Your grandfather will never forgive me if that happens. Do not let me down. We are all counting on you. Did the guards, didn't they see Gloria there? You recall the night of the fight like it was a moment ago. Gloria sprawled under the feet of those cackling thugs, her poetry, her greatest treasure, scattered on the ground. She thinks she's all noble. Those were the words they spat down at her. But doesn't grandfather mean the same thing when he denies that she is a part of the family? But if you do what father tells you, the trial will end quickly. Those commoners will face true death by assault for assaulting a noble. If you mention Gloria, things will get complicated, and you cannot predict how the trial will end. Which is more important to you, what is right or what is just? Ooh, what is right or what is just? That's interesting. We can support father. But then we'll go down from our relationship with Gloria, which is fine. Our reputation, family reputation will go up. We can lie to father. That does not seem like a good move. Or we can convince him otherwise. Our family unity will go up, our reputation will go down. Nobility and spirituality go up, willpower goes down. First off, yeah, I don't see how it really matters. I mean, it would, Gloria probably shouldn't have been there, I guess, but, how is that big of a crime, you know? Whatever, then, she gets in some trouble, but she's not gonna get in that much trouble, you know? I feel we'll just do this one. This feels like the best option. Convince father to change his mind, because I don't really know about either. I mean, I don't want to lie. And I could support him, but for some reason this is very important to Gloria. I don't understand it, but it is. And so I will try to support her and pick this. Gloria, we're protecting you by saying that you weren't there. What don't you understand? But that's fine. We'll... whatever. You look father straight in the eye and tell him what you think. You are not going to bear false witness in court. He is a judge himself. How can he make you lie to Sir Elborn? And what of Gloria? Is she not a Brant too? Does she not deserve justice? Or maybe grandfather is right, and she is just a freeloader who deserves nothing but shame? If so, then how come father agreed to take her into his home and under his protection? Saying this to father's tough. Deep inside you pray he hears no weakness in your voice and sees no blood rushing to your cheeks, but it seems he is listening to you intently. The wrinkles on his forehead grow deeper as his fingers stammer out a staccato against the armrest. This is going to be tough, son, but you're right. You are right. I took Gloria into my home, and so I must protect her like my own daughter. This is my decision, and I must stand by it. I will speak with Stephen in the morning. Now I pray your grandfather never hears of my change of heart. The day comes. The trial takes place in the lesser hall of the city prefecture. Sir Elborn himself presides as the judge. You are the first to testify to the court. Ooh, and now I gotta trust that everyone's gonna follow what I say. Why am I first? You tell the court the truth about that night. How the thugs humiliated Gloria, how Stephen and you came to help her, and how Stephen defended his half-sister. Out of the corner of your eye you watch grandfather's face grow red, yet he remains silent. There are confused whispers in the hall. The commoners on trial cry out. It's the truth. Gloria was reciting poetry, and they simply told her she was defying her lot. The situation has changed. By this account, Stephen was not acting in defense of himself or another. He merely assaulted them first in order to retaliate against those who had insulted his half-sister. You spread your feet to stand firm and inhale before you speak next. You ask the hall, is it not a nobleman's duty to honor his family name? Gloria does not have the Brant name, but your father took her into his home. Therefore, it was Stephen's duty to protect her, as he would have protected any of you. Contemptuous chuckles rush through the courtroom. You have just reminded the city of Father's shameful second marriage. Stephen is to testify next. He reluctantly confirms your testimony, glancing at father and grandfather all the while. His arm in the sling is his main argument. Stephen wanted the commoners to stop insulting Gloria, yet in the end the commoners were the first to assault him. After a short recess, Sir Elborn returns and rises to deliver his sentence. The court of Annisot finds you guilty of assaulting Sir Stephen L. Brante, a nobleman, who stood in defense of the honor of Gloria, a member of his household. All 4 defendants are sentenced to true death by hanging. See, it helps that Stephen's uncle is the judge. Nepotism. Okay. There is no wind, but you feel a gust sweep through the hall. The defendants turn pale. Their mothers are bawling and crying. Everybody in the court feels the dreadful power of the law, and it is stern and just. That very power has been invoked by this sentence, and that is the very sentence that the lives of the 4 young men are willing to forfeit, or literally and by that very sentence, the lives of the 4 young men are literally forfeit for all eternity. The gallows await. Stephen stands in the front row. Father stands next to him. The wood creaks. The trapdoors open under the young men's feet. They dangle in the air, wheezing and reaching out for support with their feet in their final moments. Grandfather's silence ends at home. He screams at you and Father, at Stephen and Gloria. This trial is a disgrace. His screams are punctuated by the thudding of his walking stick against the floor. Father says they had to defend the family. It would have truly been a disgrace if they had shirked their responsibilities. Stephen excuses himself to bandage his arm in order to stay out of the argument. Gloria is quiet but glowing. You stay quiet too. It is all over now. It is all over now. Nobody bullies Gloria on the streets anymore. Those 4 commoners are dead forever. Their families were taught a cruel lesson. So will it be with anyone who dares to raise his hand against a nobleman. Okay, our grandfather hates us, but that's fine, because we kind of hate him too. Our reputation is down. That's fine. We don't need it. Peace is back up again. Wait, it's +1 at 7? When did it go down to 6? I don't even remember that. Okay. Alright. So we lost some of our willpower. That's fine. We are a searcher. We have 2 spirituality. And we are honorable still. We're up to 3 now. That's good. Okay. Alright, and I think this might be, I wanted to try to get through all of Adolescence, but this is like kind of lasting a really long time. So I might end it here for tonight, since it's at least 10 o'clock and that's like a good stopping time. And because I don't know, I kind of can't keep reading. There's so much reading in this one. It's just all reading. It's like book stream. But we still have like 2 years, but like the end of the adolescence will probably be a big one. So it's gonna like take a while to get through. So we'll just, you know, each stream is not gonna be timed with the full like section of life, which is fine, because I feel that like which one is gonna tell us? Yeah, I feel like these younger ones like will probably take a while to get through. 14 years old, like, because eventually like there's a lot of adult years. I don't know if it's gonna go through all of them, but like it feels like it's gonna get longer in these sections, so it's, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of weird. It's kind of kind of depressing for them to be like, oh yeah, dying for forever is so bad. And it's like, dude, some of us in some worlds kind of have to deal with that a lot. So yeah, they do kind of stress the world building, which on the one hand, like you're supposed to, yeah. Well, because they're trying to make sure you relate. So this game like stresses a lot like about the twins and your lots and the like death thing, and like the things that make this world unique. Like it talks about a lot, and it almost acts like it's new every time. Sometimes for some of it, or like
yeah, some of the things they just kind of assume that you should know, like the death thing, you know, and kind of like not assume you should know, but like yeah, kind of make you relate to it. And it's, I think, to bring you into the world, you know, um, because I think what they're really trying to do is they're trying to make it be like a fully fledged like book, like a novel basically, but it's like in game form, so it is like shorter than a novel would be. Um, so I think they kind of like are just worried about how to world build as effectively and as immersively. And they're trying to get like the immersion going by kind of like re-insisting on things. And it's like a bit much. If you were just playing through this, you wouldn't necessarily really need that like insistence and repetition for these world building elements like that. But I kind of like it because like streaming it like a week apart, it's nice to kind of have that reminder when you jump back into the game and be like, what was going on here, and have it be repeated. But I can see how it would be a bit much if you were just like playing this game like all in one go, or even like every couple days, like I don't know. But it does, some of the things like the death stuff doesn't get me. The lots are what get me. The like, you have to obey your lot. It's like, yeah, I know, I heard it already. Like, I get it. But I don't know. Sensitive about your one life. Um, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's an interesting game though. I'm still like kind of surprised by how long it is. Like when I first like saw it, I was like, oh, this isn't gonna be a very long game. This will be like maybe like, you know, a few hours, especially because the idea is you're meant to play through his life and then repeat it and go back through. And like it's designed that you're supposed to try to get multiple like paths and like get these different things. Um like you're apparently meant to do that. Um and like one playthrough already is like quite long actually. So like cuz some games are like very like some games like this like Pentiment you can replay, but it's not necessarily meant to be replayed. But something like at this, I just thinking of a game that you have to replay again and again and again is Long Live the Queen. Is a game that you have to replay over and over again, um multiple times. And like, but that game is pretty short. Like you play it through in like maybe half an hour, maybe an hour. Like it's much quicker to get through the end. But this one is like taking quite a while. Short live the queen. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But it's meant to be be replayed a bunch, right? So that's why it is short, because if it were like a 20-hour game, then like you wouldn't really want to replay it 10 more times. But partly because like if you get into 20 like Pentiment, like I wouldn't want to replay through Pentiment, at least not anytime soon, because of like the emotional involvement that the game has. Like, you know, I kind of don't want to just jump back to the beginning and replay through it again, because I'm attached to the events and the way I characterize the characters and stuff in the first playthrough. It'd be weird to just jump back to the beginning and do it again straight through. But Long Live the Queen, you can absolutely do that and start from the beginning and go through like 5 million times because you're not that attached. You wouldn't want to relive the damage we did to Casper. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's fine. There's a lot that we did, but some of it we wouldn't have to relive through, so that's fine. But yeah, so, yeah, this game, it does want you to replay it again and again. Like, it seemed like it was like a Long Live the Queen, like, replay style. But it's quite a long game for that, so I don't know. Probably will not go back through and play it multiple times. I mean, we already have 4 deaths, so like, you know, it's fine, right? You're oops, wherever. No, oh, that was the one I was at. Okay, that's why I did that. Yeah, see, I like how the last death has a crown. That's kind of cool. But like, we have like 4 deaths. That's already enough. And then we can even still go back through and restart and play again. Like, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. Anyway.
I think I will end it here for today. Finish the stream here. And we will pick back up maybe on Tuesday. Maybe I'll continue with this game. I don't really know. Either on Tuesday it'll either be this game or Who's Lila or the Paranorma site. One of those. And hopefully I will stream on Tuesday, but we'll see. It's like, yeah, so work stuff is a little more chaotic towards the end of the year, so I'm not entirely certain what is, yeah, end of the year, beginning of summer times is like it's like a transition time and like all sorts of extra responsibilities that you don't usually have. Like the rhythm is kind of thrown off and it's like a new rhythm and for a little bit. And yeah, so I don't really know, but hopefully I'll stream on Tuesday. That's kind of like the goal. So we'll see. And maybe I'll play this, but maybe one of the other games. Who really knows? But yeah. Anyways, that's it for tonight. And thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting. And hope you have a good couple days until I stream again. So I guess that's it. All right, see ya and good night.